Happy New Year to everybody across the U.S. of A. Welcome to the 2023 opener for the Federal Prospect Hockey League's time here in Danbury, Connecticut. Alongside Jim Cerny, I'm Chris Lynch. And Jim, first off, it's just good to have you back up here by my side, my friend.
Yes, good to be back.
Yeah, so a good matchup here. Danbury first place in the Empire Division, and Carolina in a very, very competitive Continental Division. Still a very good record, and one of the only teams to get a win off of the hat trick so far this season, the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, absolutely. Danbury comes in with a record of 21-2 on the season, and yeah, one of those losses came against these very same Carolina Thunderbirds down in Carolina. Carolina, if they were in the Empire Division, they'd be in a more solid standing. But, boy, that Continental Division has been very tight all season. 4 teams that have played exceptionally well to this point. 4 out of their 5 teams in that division have played very, very well. Meanwhile, Danbury sitting atop the Empire Division, but not by a lot. You'd think if you were 21-2 that you'd be blowing the division away, but the Binghamton Black Bears are nipping at the heels of the Danbury Hat Trick. So as we flip the calendar to 2023, Hat Tricks still got to keep up this strong play that they had in the first half of the season.
All too important to keep it going against a Thunderbirds team whom they've played 3 times, and both teams riding pretty good winning streaks coming into tonight's matchups.
Yeah, Danbury's won 4 in a row, all against the Delaware Thunder at the end of calendar year 2022. 2 here in Danbury, and then on New Year's Eve weekend, they won a pair down in Delaware. Meanwhile, Carolina comes in. They've won 5 in a row, including 6-1 last night at the Watertown Wolves. And, boy, they have been running on all cylinders right now, Chris. Carolina has outscored the opposition 39-8 in their 5-game winning streak. They are smoking hot right now. Billy McCreary was telling me yesterday when we chatted that he's excited to see how his team accepts this challenge, because this is probably the best team that the Hat Tricks have played in a little while.
Yeah, this is the best matchup that they've had in a good long while. A perfect home record so far. And this is only the second time that the Thunderbirds have come up to here. It's the first game of a 2-game weekend. It was a 5-3 matchup. And I even think it was a closer game than even what that score indicated the last 2 times these teams met.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to cut you off.
Nope.
They're 2 very evenly matched teams. And they're similar in the fact that they both can run up the score. There's a lot of offensive skill on both teams, including the league's leading scorer, Gus Ford, who plays for Carolina. But they're also both 2 very good, disciplined defensive teams with excellent goaltending on both sides. It makes for a very, very tasty matchup to open up calendar year 2023.
We're going to throw things down to ice level, where public address announcer Dre is welcoming the starting lineups for the Danbury Hat Tricks. And we're going to have a pregame ceremony as well. A well-loved and very honorable fan, Melanie Frankel, passed away on New Year's Day after a long bout with ALS. We will be doing a pregame ceremony to honor her memory and her legacy for being one of the most avid supporters of the Danbury Hat Tricks and of Danbury hockey in general.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's beloved by Hat Tricks players, by the management, by the ownership, by her fellow fans, and it predates the Hat Tricks as well. She goes back through really all the iterations of professional hockey here in Danbury, and beloved by players that have been here for the previous decade, as well as our current Danbury Hat Tricks. And I thought Billy McCreary really put it well yesterday, talking about how her family and specifically her daughter, Melanie's daughter, Rachel, is going to be welcomed by the 30 brothers that make up the Danbury Hat Tricks, because they are indeed part of the Danbury Hat Tricks family.
And in fact, Rachel read the starting lineup to the guys in the locker room. They were all very excited about it. They are ready to play for her. They're going to have that public address announcement and that ceremony right now. We're going to throw things down there.
the Danbury hat tricks. It resonated through all the teams, all 13 seasons of professional hockey in Danbury. We put together a video with some messages and some photos to honor Melanie.
Melanie was such a tremendous, wonderful woman who not only loved the sport of hockey and the city of Danbury, but she also loved people. And you could really tell that whether you knew her for 10 years or for 10 minutes, she was just such a tremendously caring, positive person.
Melanie was a tremendous person and a loyal hockey fan. She will be truly missed. Melanie always led with a smile and really loved life. All of Melanie's friends, families, and hockey fans will be in our thoughts and prayers.
To the Frankel family and Melanie, we're praying for you. We love you. You're always a rabbit, and you'll forever be a part of our Hat Tricks family. Thank you for all of your love and support over the years, and grateful to call you a friend.
I truly can say it was an honor getting to know Melanie, one of the kindest and sweetest hearts out there. When I think about my time in Danbury and reflect on it, certain people and faces instantly pop into my head, and Melanie and the Frankel family are definitely part of that group.
Melanie was one of those people that when she smiled, she just lit the room up. Amazing smile, amazing personality. You know, just truly one of those people that blessed everyone that she had the opportunity to be around.
She was a great friend of mine, a great supporter of Danbury hockey, and she'll truly be missed by all.
I remember even in my earlier Danbury days, getting ready for a road trip, and Melanie and the family would be on their way to bring us, you know, some food and snacks for the road, this, that, etc. And it didn't matter if we were about to leave or not. The bus would not leave until they gave us what we needed.
Touching tribute. There'll be a permanent bell installed in section 108. In fact, there was a story of Melanie being told to lighten up on all of the bell ringing.
We love her. If you'd like to say a few words to the fans and just recognize her, we love her. First, I'd like to thank her and the Hat Tricks organization for the condolences on the passing of my wife, Melanie. I'd also like to thank Coach and the players
A fitting tribute for one Melanie Frankel. A wonderful job honoring. There is going to be a permanent bell installed in Section 108, which is the door that the Danbury Hat-Tricks come onto. And well, now after all that, there's a hockey game to be played.
Which is probably the way Melanie would have liked it.
Yep. Let's very quickly give you these starters for these teams. Gordy Bonnell, Johnny Ruiz, and Dmitry Kuznetsov are the forward unit who starts off. Johnny McDonald and Riley Robertson take the D pair, and Brian Wilson hops in net to start things off for the home team. Carolina is going to be rolling Peter Panechik, Viktor Grebenikov, Jan Salak, Tucker Firth, Yuri Pestuka, and Mario Cavallari will take the opening in net for the Thunderbirds, who are in their road white jerseys, Danbury in their home blacks. Very nice to have Johnny McDonald back from loan. And actually worth noting, the Hat-Tricks are actually going to start this game off on the penalty kill. I wonder if that's for a delay of game, but however, the puck is dropped. We are underway from the Danbury Ice Arena. And indeed, I do believe that we'll get the scoring from Dre, the public address man, in a moment. Dmitry Kuznetsov actually got 2 minutes for an abusive official before there was even a puck drop. Johnny Ruiz will walk his way in on the penalty kill. This is most unusual. At 0 minutes and 0 seconds, our first penalty of the game.
Chris, you know how long I've worked in hockey at all different levels. I have never seen that before. See if we can get a little clarity on that down the line here.
Yeah, that's confusing. I saw once at a BU Northeastern game as the Hat-Tricks are on the penalty kill to start proceedings. I cannot begin to tell you how not normal that is. Because I thought for a moment maybe the pregame ceremony took a little bit too long, but no, as this will spring its way free, and it's actually going to be called an icing against Carolina. So we're going back into the opposite end of the rink after they put it in the wrong spot. I remember one BU Northeastern game where the backup goaltender threw a puck down to the opposite end of the rink, so that guy got a misconduct in a 2-minute minor. That's the only other time I could think of. That's how unusual this all is.
But it's a big penalty kill right off the bat. Carolina could seize momentum of this game right away.
Welcome to Danbury, everybody. We honor and love our people, and we take penalties.
Yeah.
This is...
Hit the ground running.
I am so confused. But the Hat-Tricks have killed off the first minute and 25 seconds of this penalty. They'll work this up to the point. Ford winds up, wanted to shoot it. They'll put it down for Peavy, winds up, shoots it off the glass, right in front of the crowd at Section 108. Falanga tries to poke this out, no room for it. Whacked out by Robertson. He'll take another hack at it. We've got only 15 seconds to go, and a hat trick hits the deck hard. That's Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson got in deep there.
Winds up, backhand shot, save made by Wilson. Couple of good-looking chances. They'll put this one up to the circle for Peavy across the right side, and the hat-trick's penalty kill has worked to perfection. Kuznetsov will jump back out. Wilson makes the save. Lugo will get on top of this and control it. Just settle it, use the net as a shield. Spins off for a little bit more room, and on comes Kuznetsov. He'll sprint it ahead over the red line, across the blue. Walks it, drags, circle, winds up, shoots it. Save made by Cavallari. First shot on goal for Danbury is a pretty good one off some nifty skating by Kuznetsov. Thunderbirds, stretch pass across the middle. Yao has to retreat and go pick this one up. Dumps it for Dowler. The newest man, Daniel McKittrick, will lug this up. Came here in a trade from the Mississippi Seawolves. This will be lobbed in. McKittrick goes in like a guy shot out of a cannon. Bounces in front. Shot save made. McKittrick trying to make an early big impression on his new team. Thunderbirds are going to clear this out. Dowler will give chase. Dowler on top of this across to the circle. Over the middle, McKittrick. Skating with some room, McKittrick glides in, keeps possession, centered it for Marchessault. Ran out of real estate, and the Thunderbirds will clear it. McKittrick looks good off the hop. Marchessault throws a check, walks into the blue line to the Thunderbirds. Looks shot, save made by Wilson, and he'll swallow it.
Well, Daniel McKittrick, first shift, first great opportunity as a Danbury hat trick. He was left all alone right in between the circles. Point blank shot and a terrific save by Cavallari. McKittrick, the 25-year-old, born and raised near the North Pole. Yes, he was. Acquired yesterday from the Seawolves, as you pointed out. 9 goals, 17 points in 21 games. Billy McCreary expects him to play a top 6 role offensively for the Hat-Tricks.
As already impressed as this puck will find its way on net. It's free. Nobody actually knew where it was or if the whistle was going to sound. Richards will just funnel this along, and off the side of the net, they're going to call that an icing, which, yeah, by letter of the law, that is icing. I don't know if I like it, but that is the officials.
No, I mean,
that's
listen,
the rule.
You know, gain the red line if you're going to do that. You know,
Yep.
he's just a stride away from the red line. Now the faceoff comes back into Danbury's end, where Brian Wilson already had to make a couple pretty good saves against Gus Ford on that game-opening power play for the Thunderbirds.
Ford is a terrifying player to try and match up against.
Leads the league in points with 55.
And it's a pretty big jump to second place to get down the list.
He's had a terrific start. He's averaging 2.5 points per game. Danbury's Dustin Gesso is second in the league, averaging 2.1 points per game, but Gesso has not played nearly as many games as Ford has.
And Gesso was leading the league in that stat until relatively recently when the Thunderbirds, keyed by Ford, have gone on an offensive bender lately.
Absolutely. 39 goals during a 5-game win streak.
Richards over to Lugo on the right side. Lugo will walk this in, throws it in front. It's off the side of the net. Tristan Mock wrestling for possession. 3 players there for it. Lugo tries to work this off of a Thunderbird stick. Still nothing doing. Lines up, looks to try and put this on. It goes high. Richards will settle this one down. Look for it up to the point. Wanted it for Yao, who just has to pick this off in neutral space and not let the Thunderbirds go anywhere. Richards tumbles down. Yao with some nifty stick handling. Lost the puck. Thunderbirds will pick it up. Jacob Schnapp in pass intercepted by Brendan Dowler. And Cavallari will step out and settle this behind his net. Backhand around to the right side. We got Dowler jostling with Schnapp. And at the middle of the ice, Dowler takes a check, and the Thunderbirds are going to the penalty as Johnny Ruiz is going to walk this in. Possession touched up, and so the Thunderbirds are going to take what I think is an interference penalty.
Has to be an interference penalty. Lucas Rowe, as Dowler was skating backwards, Rowe made contact with him. Maybe an iffy penalty there, but a penalty nonetheless. And the Hat-Tricks will go to their first power play tonight.
It's a tripping penalty that the officials signaled.
If anything, it was interference, but we'll let the officials call it as they see it.
So, tripping is the ruling. First power play, winds up, shoots it, does Johnny McDonald, and he put it into the awaiting high mitt of Cavallari. Nice wind-up, good look, good shot.
Yeah, quick one. You win a face-off, you know, that's such the key on the power play, especially when you're in the offensive zone. Win that face-off, which they do not do here.
They'll get it up to the point. McDonald will glove it and settle it. They'll look to ring this round. Puck bounces up. Rolling with it up to the left side is Johnny Ruiz. Lugo is taking some time on that top power play. Gonzalez and McDonald, they're playing 2 defensemen. Ruiz winds up and blasts it off the end boards. Gonzalez settles it down as it bounces all the way up to the point. McDonald wanted to shoot it, blocked down, and cleared to the opposite end of the rink. That's only the first 35 seconds of the power play gone off for the Hat-Tricks.
And how about Grebennikov throwing his body in front of that shot, which mercifully for him flew over his body and off the glass.
Gesso keeps this at the point. Tried to funnel it low. Breakaway chance for Carolina. Walks in. Look, shot. Save made by Wilson. Stones. His man cold. Stones Panechek cold.
Yeah, Panechek on a shorthanded breakaway tried to go 5-hole, and Wilson was equal to the task.
Man, what a great, glorious opportunity on the shorthanded look. Yao will dump this down for Dowler, who will ring this off the glass with some velocity. Gordy Bunnell settles it. Looks to work this through. up to the line for Kuznetsov, who gets to take part in the power play. Carries down low, centered. Bunnell wanted the shot. Second chance not there. Rolls up top. Yao puts it over to Gesso. Gesso will step in, fires it, bangs off the side of the boards. Gesso settles it, keeps it on the line. Yao back to Gesso. Gesso winds up, shoots it. Save made. Rebound bounces out to the Peach Wave sign at the end of the rink and cleared to the opposite end by Carolina. A great, great bunch of power play shots for Danbury and nothing quite getting through the traffic.
Yeah, I like the chemistry that Yao and Gesso had there. 3 different occasions where they're working the different versions of the give and go.
Gibbs fumbles it in tight. Great, great chance for Josh Keplinger. And the power play expires. Keplinger receives it, winds it to the circle. Shot is tipped, bounces on the side of the net, and Wilson smartly decides to cover that up. Good decision. We'll take a breather, hop back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena.
Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line ball. Robert Hyde across the block. We're going to have a fight at center. Vivek with a couple of big rights. He scores!
These police officers are trading their duty gear for hockey gear. Because on January 7th at UConn, something very special is happening to benefit the Special Olympics.
We're participating in a hockey competition called the Bender Classic. It's all about police officers who don't know how to skate, skating against each other to raise money for Special Olympics. Our goal is to raise $20,000. If you would like to help, please donate at benderclassichockey.com.
13:05 left to go here in the first period between the Hat Tricks and the Thunderbirds. Power play has come off the boards for both sides. Both teams 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Carolina in the Catbirds seat looking to try and get themselves on the off the face-off, tied up in neutral ice. Puck floats in front of the Hat Trick bench. Robertson tried to throw it across. It's gathered up by Michael Falanga. Sat a few games at home towards the end of calendar year 22 and looks to get himself into the offensive side of things. Takes the check, rolls it across the middle, looks for somewhere to go. It's some pretty nifty handling by Gus Ford. Walks this in with 2 people hanging off of him. His numerical counterpart, Falanga.
That's a good job by Falanga playing forward there, playing the man and then playing the puck and knocking it off his stick and out of the zone.
Falanga knocked that down, carried on by John Batista. Across the left side for Keplinger, and that'll find its way upstairs and into the protective netting overhead.
Now getting a stick on that one on the back check, deflecting off his stick into the netting. Brian Wilson's been tested early and often in this one. First the power play, then the shorthanded save. Wilson 14-1-2, a .259 goals against at .922 save percentage. Leads the league in wins, second in goals against, third in save percentage.
He's been one of the best performers for not just the Hat Tricks, but for any team in the league. He's one of the reasons why the Hat Tricks have had such a great level of success. Voted goaltender of the month the first month of the season, as this is an offsides against Carolina.
I was trying to figure out how he also was not the top goaltender in the month of December, because he did not get the award last month, but I guess spreading the wealth is the league. But boy, he has been so consistently good this season, and his focus has been razor sharp game to game. And Billy McCreary and I were talking about him yesterday, and he's just so impressed with the steps that Wilson has taken in his game this season compared to his rookie season of a year ago.
You can read Jim Cerny's Q&A on the Danbury Hat Tricks website. That's available right now as the most recent bit on the news tab. He did a full and very good Q&A.
Very good, thank you.
I know how to. I'm not.
You know how to butter up your partner.
I'm not as experienced at this as you are, but I know just about enough about how to do this job. Make your partners in crime happy, and stuff works out pretty well.
You're just hoping that I pick up lunch at some point down the road because of your kindness.
I'm not going to say no.
We know each other.
Yes, we do. Good to have you back, Jim, buddy. Carolina will settle the puck down at their own end of the rink. At the circle, Kuznetsov nearly forces the turnover. Dowler will gather it in neutral territory. Across the middle for Kuznetsov. Wanted it for Ruiz. Ran into a tree of forest of white jerseys instead. Yao goes back to get this one. We'll just ring this for Ruiz. On Salak in pursuit. Ruiz dips around him. Ruiz with a lot of space. He'll just dump this in and go for a change. Kuznetsov's still out there. Puck bounces on his stick. Gibbs tries to keep it in the attacking end. Doesn't, but will lob it back in as the rest of the hat trick swap off. Marchesson steps in. Gibbs gets the loose puck. Tried to funnel it across. And the Thunderbirds will get on top of this. Gesso throws a check on Schnapp. He's been mixing it up with a couple of the hat tricks so far. Marchesson tried to funnel it in front. We've got a penalty being called. Another penalty. Who is this going against?
Hat tricks were funneling it towards the net, and it looks like Schnapp is going to take the penalty here. So Danbury's second power play opportunity. They are 9th in the league, converting at just 14.7%. But you look for little rays of sunshine, right? They've scored a power play goal in 4 consecutive games. That is their best stretch of the season. Let's see if they can get another one tonight.
And they were last place for a time, so that has changed. So it's always very good that the hat tricks are improving. Puck bounces out to neutral space and very nearly a good secondary opportunity. Nearly a good second shorthanded chance.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something that's going to have to get buttoned up. McDonald will dump it backwards for Gonzalez. Gonzalez fighting the ice a little bit. Ruiz will glide this one on. Takes the screen set by Marchesson. Offsides, I believe. Or no, we're getting another penalty called. Marchesson is going to go off for an interference penalty.
Well, so much for that power play opportunity. Just 29 ticks in. So Schnapp was called for hooking at 9:06, and now Marchesson will go to the sin bin. And boy, you have two very talented offensive teams here, Chris, with a lot of open ice, 4-on-4, for almost the full 2 minutes.
And by the way, it does hurt the hat tricks a little bit that they don't have Marchesson available, who after coming here from Binghamton has been found money. He has to sit down for the full 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's been terrific.
Kennedy's shot blocked down by Dowler. Up to Gesso, who will look for somewhere to go with it. Dowler will settle it behind him. We'll ring this around to the right side for Gesso.
So Marchesson 2 for interference at 9:35.
Carolina looking to get themselves on the scoreboard first. Salak from the goal line extended, spins off of Yao. Gets this one up to Kennedy. Kennedy will spin it on his backhand. Walks this one down, walks it to the slot. Loose puck. Wilson came out, but Thunderbirds couldn't get there in time for the open spot on the doorstep. Salak just has to settle it in neutral space.
Good job defensively by McKittrick. I mean, he was all over his man and would not allow a clean shot on goal.
He's had a couple of very good shifts. Puck bounces right to the slot, and Johnny McDonald will grab it and go. Gesso across the middle. Puck fumbled. Just 25 seconds left on the 4-on-4 sequence.
Yeah, Billy McCreary was saying he thought McKittrick would be a really nice fit with the current team because he's a solid two-way player. Yeah, he's a good point producer, almost a point per game, but he's very, very diligent defensively as well.
Falanga tried to poke this ahead. Hat tricks. They'll have to leave it behind. The Thunderbirds will carry this up. So the penalty on Schnapp is over. So we go back to a brief 5-on-4 Thunderbird power play. Tristan Mock with other ideas. Glides forward, tries to drag on, fumbled the puck. Schnapp will carry this out. Walks around one man, final 7 seconds on the power play. Schnapp tumbles down, tied up with Gonzalez, trying to get his stick free. The hat-trick fans believe that should be a penalty called in their favor. It isn't. Thunderbirds do not convert on the abbreviated power play. Here comes Marchesson, cuts it, shoots it, save made. They'll funnel it down low again. Bunnell there for it. Bunnell tried to poke it free. Ruiz will put this up to the point for Yao. Marchesson settles in the slot. for Dowler. Dowler winds up, shoots it, blocked down.
I think it hit Bennell in front.
Yeah. Marchesson hops off. Thunderbirds are very happy to play a bit of a cheating game of getting ahead, and trying to sneak ahead behind the defense. Nearly caught the hat-trick napping, but didn't. We'll take a pause, hop back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena.
Well, Chris, TK's American Cafe on White Street in Danbury is the place to go to check out their 76 amazing wings flavors. That's www.tksamericancafe.com. In a scoreless first period with 7:53 to go, they list the shots at 5-3 in favor of the hat-tricks. I think that's a little skewed, because I've counted about 4 solid saves already for Brian Wilson.
Yeah, that doesn't sound quite right, but sure. Circle shot just wide of the post. Martin with a great opportunity. That's Carolina's best scoring chance so far tonight.
Yeah, they kept the puck in at the blue line there and got the puck to Martin, and he was wide open, a clean look, but he did not put it on net.
Bennell threw a hit that jarred the puck out to neutral space. Across the middle, up the boards to Martin. Martin with some room, absorbed some contact. Or really, Dowler hit the boards before he hit Martin. Petita tumbles, gathers, looks for somewhere to go with it, spins off. Poked here, up to the slot. Martin shot, save made. Rebound to Martin again, kick save. Another great stop. Dowler got across and broke that up and cleared out to neutral space. Brilliant defensive play by Brendan Dowler, and the Thunderbirds try to catch the hat-tricks in the middle of a change, but it doesn't quite work. McDonald's back there for it.
2 absolutely glorious scoring opportunities there for Martin. A chest save by Wilson on the first as the puck goes out of play, and then a right pad save on the second opportunity, point blank. And then, as you mentioned, what a play by big Brendan Dowler, getting down and getting into the way of that shot to deflect it wide, a wide open side of the net. And Dowler comes through to help out his goalie after Brian Wilson bailed out his defense.
That's about as good a chance as you are going to get in this sport. Couple of great chances, and hey, you have to help your goaltender out, and sometimes that's helping him out of position after he's already done a lot of work. Puck will bounce its way backwards. Gesso funnel this along for McKittrick. Lugged over the middle. Whistle sounds offsides against Danbury. McKittrick hailing from Coral Harbor, Nunavut. That is on an island at the very northern part of Hudson's Bay.
Yep, it is up there. It is up by the North Pole. I have to talk to him, introduce myself, talk to him, and get that story of what it was like to grow up there.
Turnover forced. Marchesson walks in, save made. That's the best chance for the hat-trick so far, and a terrible turnover for Carolina.
Great right pad save by Cavallari.
Back they come. Robertson forces his man off the puck. Gesso, turnover here by Carolina, walks in, Wilson stops it. How did that not go in? The puck was thrown across. The Thunderbirds still working at it. Wilson doesn't have a stick. He'll get it back in his hands after Gesso clears this out. Glorious chances and no goals.
One great diving save by Wilson, and then on the rebound, the puck just it slid right through the crease. It was not put on goal, otherwise it probably would be 1-0 Carolina.
Gonzalez trying to work at this one. Lugo will poke it free. Janacek will dump this down low. And they'll keep the cycle going. Schnapp up to the point to the right side, winds up shot just a little bit wide. They had Lucas Rowe on the doorstep who could have been able to punch it home if it had got to him cleanly. Gibbs will funnel this out for Mock. Richards out for Lugo. Lugo dips around, walks in, shoots it. And that was tipped and went over the crossbar.
Yeah, Tucker Firth, good job there, good stick. And Lugo looked like he was going to get off a good shot and a good opportunity, but Firth got his stick in the way, and Mario Cavallari making the start tonight. 8-3-1, 345 goals against, an 891 save percentage. It's kind of a rookie goalie tandem that they have with Boris Babic. Babic started last night in Watertown and made 44 saves, a season high, in a 6-1 win.
A wonderful performance by Babic. I would be unsurprised if he gets the start tomorrow night.
Yep, you would think so.
Benel keeps muscling this along, worked off his stick. Kuznetsov with some room to work. Winds up, shoots it. That bangs up high. Benel bounces over Kuznetsov's stick to the point for Dowler. Dowler tries to put it on net, bounces wide. Nobody there to punch it home, at least not immediately. Ruiz worked off it, tumbles down. Some of the Hat-Tricks fans believe there should be a penalty. None is called, and Carolina will go back to the offensive end. Firth throws a check to work Dowler off the puck. Schnapp not there for it. Carolina down multiple defensemen. But for all of their hot stretches, they have been battling the injury bug, to say the very least, lately. Yao will funnel this out, lobbed in. Cavallari will just catch it and settle it down. 4:15 left to go in the first period. A quickly played first period with only a few stoppages so far. Otherwise, continuous play. A little bit delayed starting with the pregame tribute to one Melanie Franklin, a well-loved and honored fan. As turnover here, Wilson's going to get on this. That's a terrible turnover by the Hat-Tricks in their own end of the rink.
Not only in their own end, but right in front of their own net, and with the red-hot Lucas Rowe right there. He put it on net, but right into Brian Wilson, and we get a whistle. 4 minutes to go in a scoreless first period. Dr. Jared DiLorenzo is a proud member of the Danbury Hat-Tricks medical team. Stop by and see them on North Street in downtown Danbury. Feeling good is an option, and Dr. D can get you there. And real quickly, we should point out that Zach Pamaleon is missing his third straight game with the shoulder injury, but he's real close. He may be back this weekend. And Tobias Ojic missing his 20th game with a facial injury tonight. Could return next weekend, Billy McCreary told us before the game.
Well, here's hoping all for the best for Ojic, a wonderful player, a well-liked man in the Hat-Tricks locker room.
And an important player.
And they've been having all this success without him. It's kind of shocking how well this has gone as we get...
I think...
Stop. Did the net come off?
Yeah, I believe the net came off. But, you know, it's so funny that you said that because, again, when I was chatting with Billy, you know, I said, man, you're 21-2 on the season, and you're playing without one of your top 6 guys, a guy that you counted on, you know, to be a physical presence, a guy to be an offensive presence, an all-around key player. And he's now missing his 20th consecutive game with that facial injury, and he needed dental repairs and all that. But Billy said he expects him back next weekend, back in the lineup.
2-on-2 opportunity for Carolina. Shot on it, scored. Gus Ford, as hot as an iron in the core of Mars. A wonderful play, wonderful setup, great roof shot. Not sure what more Brian Wilson could have done about that. It's 1-0 for the Thunderbirds.
Yep, you know, listen, you come in, odd man rush, 2-on-1, Ford on right wing, and what a wicked shot going upstairs on Brian Wilson. And like you said, not much he can do with that. And for Gus Ford, his 22nd goal on the season. He is now tied for the league lead, and that is his league-leading 56th point. And again, I guess it ended up being a 2-on-2, but really, during most of that rush, it's a 2-on-1. And listen, you give him open space. He's the last guy you want to do that to. And he picked his spot, and he made the hat tricks pay.
Pestuka will pick up this shot here. Kuznetsov tries to clear it out to neutral space. Salak, slotted shot, not there. Janacek will carry it around. Centered in front, shot in front by Firth, not there. Wilson has to cover this up. And goodness gracious, Carolina really did come to play tonight.
Yeah, but here's the thing. How can you allow a man to be that wide open in front of the net? I mean, Firth was wide open, and really, had he had a better angle there, he would have had a better scoring opportunity against Wilson. The puck just didn't quite find him in the right spot. Danbury needs to tighten it up in front of their goalie.
And especially right after you gave up a goal, the important shifts, like the most important ones, are right after you get scored on or right after you score. Carolina carried on that habit and conducted themselves well. Gonzalez lined up, blasted around, sits on the end of the net. Mock tried to funnel this one in front, kicks it, shoots it off the pipe. Falanga, puck bounces underneath him. Robertson tries to shoot it, nothing there. And the Thunderbirds go back to the offensive end of the rink where they've been for much of this game so far.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how they get the puck out of their zone quickly and cleanly.
Falanga dumped to Lugo. Mock interrupted. Lugo with some room. He'll lob this in. They'll go for a line change. McKittrick, Marchesson, and Gesso, the players who hop out there. McKittrick tries to force the turnover. Worked into the boards. Marchesson spins off to the point for Dowler. Across to the left for Johnny McDonald. We've got a whistle to stop the play. Net came off of its moorings again.
Yeah. So we'll get another face-off. Big face-off here. Minute 49 to go in the first period, with Danbury now trailing 1-0. The goal at 16:30. Gus Ford is 22nd of the season, and it was Joseph Kennedy with the assist. He now has 17 points in 15 games this season.
1:49 to go here in the first period. McKittrick's going to hop out and take the draw. Carolina will come away with this at least immediately. Gesso with the backhander to try and get this low for Marchesson. Cavallari will try and lob this out. Bounces around to the circle. Marchesson tried to put it on in front for McKittrick to punch home, and it went a little wide. McKittrick winds up, shoots it. That's off the end of the glass. Dowler lost it. Carolina will lob this across the middle. McDonald going back for it. He'll gather it and send it long for Marchesson. Gesso there for it. Dustin Gesso will walk his way in. Gesso lob to Marchesson, snuck a little bit behind him. Marchesson still working. Gesso in front, tried to shoot it, put it on the wrong side of the net.
Yeah, I think he was trying to bank it in off Cavallari.
It's an interesting strategy, didn't quite work itself out. Rowe winds up blocked down. That's a brave block by, I believe, Kuznetsov?
Johnny McDonald.
McDonald got there, yeah. McDonald will stick this aside. Kuznetsov lobs this across the middle for Marchesson, and they'll just go for line changes. We've got 45 seconds left to go in the opening frame. 1-0 in favor of the Carolina Thunderbirds. Gus Ford, the fastest draw in the league, struck for the Thunderbirds. Turned over here, and who, speak of the devil, Ford nearly had a great chance to walk in. Kuznetsov can't do much of this. Tita worked off by Benel. Thunderbirds throw their hands up, expecting that should have been a penalty. It's not called as such. Final 20 seconds, burning off. Thunderbirds up along the boards. Puck bounces. Yao. This hits the official. Final couple of seconds. Danbury will just get this out into the opposite end of the rink, and that is that. 1-0 in favor of the visiting Carolina Thunderbirds. They are in the lead after the first period of play in one of the most difficult places to play in the FPHL.
Now Danbury is 11-0-0 on home ice this season. So not only have they won, not only have they not, lost in regulation, or they haven't lost at all in this building this season. But that was a real good road first period for Carolina, and they come out of here with the 1-0 lead, and I'd say deservedly so. I thought they had the better of the chances. I thought they spent a little bit more time in the offensive zone, and I thought Brian Wilson was probably the best player on the ice in the first period for Danbury, as he was tested it's not so much the quantity of shots he faced, but the quality of shots that he faced. At one shift where Martin had really three glorious opportunities. One he didn't put on net. The other two were very, very good saves. And of course, the game-opening power play as well. The real good shorthanded save that Wilson had to make. So Carolina earned their 1-0 lead, and they took advantage of of a Danbury, little bit of a breakdown that went into a 2-on-1, and Ford at 16:30 was able to beat Wilson up high for the only goal of the first 20 minutes.
A wonderful performance offensively for the Thunderbirds, and I guarantee you Billy McCreary is going to go back into that locker room and have something to go for him. This is one of the only times, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but this is one of the only times that they've gone into an intermission here on home ice trailing throughout the course of the season to this point.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look, but I think you're right. It hasn't been too often. They've either been tied or ahead, when they go back to the locker room after one or after two in this building. But listen, Carolina, we said it at the top. Good team playing some of their best hockey of the season right now. It is their second 5-game winning streak of the season. And again, we talked about the numbers. It's not only that they've scored 39 goals in the past 5 games, it's that they've allowed only 8 as well, as Babic and Cavallari have both played very well. And obviously, as we see, they do a good job in front of their goalies as well.
And Cavallari made a couple of very, very good saves at his own end of the rink as well. I think Wilson had the more difficult period.
Absolutely.
But it's not like Cavallari really had it that easy either.
Yeah, Marchessault had a couple opportunities there. I thought he was probably consistently the best forward for the Hat-Tricks in the first period. I liked McKittrick's effort as well in the period. He played with a lot of jump, which is kind of the scouting report on him. He plays with a lot of juice, a lot of jump, real energetic type player, good two-way player, and I think we saw that in the first period. I think what you need to see for Danbury here as we move forward is, hey, let's get Johnny Ruiz going. Let's get Kuznetsov going. Let's get Gesso going. Let's get the big guns rolling. We saw Carolina get some really good opportunities from Ford and Rowe, their key guys. So now it's Danbury's turn to get their key guys rolling in the second period.
Jim Brundage is on the ice to Zamboni the ice and make sure it's all nice and clean. We'll take a breather, hop back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena. Brief pause, back in just a moment.
Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line ball. Robert Hyde across the puck. We're going to have a fight at center. Avec with a couple of big rights. He scores!
Second period just about set to begin between the Hat Tricks and the Carolina Thunderbirds. Carolina in the lead on this one so far, 1-2. Good performance offensively and really at both ends for the Thunderbirds so far. Alongside my partner in crime, Jim Cerny, I'm Chris Lynch. Jim, that was about as good as we've seen the Thunderbirds play for much of the season against the Hat Tricks, and that's even in a game where they got a win against them.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more similar to that November 5th game that was played down in Carolina.
Yep.
When the Thunderbirds won 2-1 in overtime. It's a similar type style of play for both teams, at least to this point through 20 minutes. And, that was Danbury's first loss of the season. They had reeled off 5 wins in a row to start the season at that point before losing in overtime 2-1, and they reeled off another 8 wins in a row after that before their first regulation loss December 3rd when they were shut out down in Columbus. Then they won another 3 games before a shootout loss in Watertown on December 17th, and they've won 4 games since.
You're seeing a couple of the offensive chances that have been had so far. A wonderful bit of credit to Calvin Savoya and our entire technical team able to get that up and running for you.
But this Carolina team, I can't say enough good things about them. The question now will be, can they keep this up over a full 60 minutes? And in most cases, you would say, well, of course they could. They're that good a team. But they are playing shorthanded. They are 2 men down. They're 1 forward and 1 defenseman down in this one tonight. They played last night in Watertown, after traveling up from Carolina. So it'll be interesting to watch, if the Hat Tricks can step up their level of play and step up the energy here in the second period to see if they can get Carolina back on their heels. Again, playing shorthanded and playing second consecutive night.
Ruiz takes the opening faceoff. It goes in Carolina's favor, and the Thunderbirds are off and running. Getting things going to start things off. Pestuka will gather it along the wing and lob it into the attacking end. Stick down and sprinting ahead is Panicek. Works for somewhere to go with this one. Rings it round to the right side. Good job by Jan Salag to hold it. Got it onto the slot. We've got a penalty going against Danbury. They took a penalty within the first, actually even before the opening whistle went.
Yeah.
And to start the game, and now we've got a penalty going the first
it looks like
33 seconds.
Yeah, Johnny Ruiz there. Looked like he tried to lift the stick, but he got the stick kind of between the legs of his mark as well, and so he's going to go to the penalty box for the Hat Tricks, and this will be the 3rd Carolina power play of the night. And remember, Carolina, the 3rd ranked power play in the league at 21.8%.
Denied on their power play the first couple of times. They've had an abbreviated one as well. It's a hooking minor against Johnny Ruiz, so that's why he is now sitting in the sin bin. Shot funneled across. Wilson made a good save. Mock gathers up, looks for somewhere to go with it. Dowler tried to funnel this out. Dowler still works at this. Dowler will lob it high off the glass, settled down. Lob blocked down. Justin Gesso springs free. Gesso in all alone, walks it, and scores! Dustin Gesso, a shorty to make it 1-1.
That is the 6th shorthanded goal scored by the Hat Tricks this season. And boy, if you want somebody to get a shorthanded breakaway, Dustin Gesso is probably the guy in black you want to have that opportunity. He was so calm and collected as he collected that puck at center ice. It was just really a bad bounce. It wasn't a turnover. It was just a bad carom, and the puck came out to center ice. Gesso collected it. He settled the puck. He didn't try and go too quick. He just came right at the goalie, Cavallari, and no panic in his game. He's so smooth. He made a little deke and then went to the forehand. He pulled the goalie out and slid it into the empty net. Gesso makes it look easy, and we've got ourselves a 1-1 game.
Quite a wonderful handle. Quite a wonderful job that he's done, providing a real offensive stabilizing force as the carrots have been thrown onto the ice. That is the tradition here at the Danbury Ice Arena. After the first goal, on come the carrots. And after a first period in which the Hat-Tricks really needed a little bit of life added to them, they've gotten it here, and they look really solid.
Well, Dustin Gesso with his team-leading 19th goal. Keep in mind, Dustin Gesso is playing his 17th game of the season. That is his 19th goal. That is his team, not only team-leading 19th, but his team-high second shorthanded goal. And as I pointed out, Danbury entered play second in the league with 5 shorties on the season, and they add to that total here. And again, boy, Gesso so smooth on the breakaway. And we talked about it at the end of the first period, Chris. We said, maybe one thing that was lacking for Danbury in that opening 20 was the big guns weren't getting the big opportunities. Well, Ruiz takes a penalty here, goes to the box. Danbury's shorthanded, and one of those big guns comes through. Gesso with the goal, and we're tied at 1.
There's still a minute and 20 seconds to go as Lugo walks this in, tried to funnel it low, gets it on his backhand, looks for someone to go with it, pounds it in front, working on this one. And the Thunderbirds, Rowe will carry this out. That flips the game around in a real hurry. Panicek lugs it across the center ice logo, lobs this in. He'll hurl this the opposite end. It is an unassisted goal for Gesso.
Yeah, again, it wasn't even so much a turnover, Chris. It was just a bad bounce there. And Gesso, right place at the right time at the red line, and he took it the length of the ice and put it home.
Walks it in, Panicek still on the power play. The Thunderbirds circle shot. Didn't get all of it, may have been blocked as well as Gonzalez tumbles down, and the hand goes up. We've got a penalty going against Carolina.
Yeah, that's not a good penalty. Offensive zone penalty while you're on the power play. And is that Keplinger? He got his stick in there on Gonzalez, and that's an easy call for the official. And indeed, it's Keplinger going to the box. So we'll have 30 seconds of 4-on-4. And then the Hat-Tricks will get 90 seconds worth of their third power play of the evening in a 1-1 game, and a chance to build on the momentum that Gesso just gave them with the goal.
A real good opportunity to build on this. It'll be 30 seconds worth of 4-on-4 time. And a minute and 30 seconds worth of power play skating time. Lugo and Ford tie up. Carolina will come away with the face-off win. Knocked down in neutral space. Marchesson can't get much on it. Back comes Ford. Ford will walk this in. Shot blocked by Gonzalez. Went straight up. It never hit the netting. It just went straight up into the air. Rolls to the circle. Shot save made by Wilson. And immediately he's tested after the weird, funky bounce.
Yeah, good block by Gonzalez. And I was looking to the netting. I thought maybe he deflected it up towards the netting, but instead, like you correctly pointed out, it went straight up in the air. It came straight down, led to a great point-blank chance for Pastuca, and Wilson was equal to the task.
Puck funneled on forward with a backhander that goes over everything of the list of dangerous people as Ruiz hops out of the box with a list of dangerous people that you don't want right in front of your own goal.
Yeah.
Ford is at the very top. He's a great case for the most valuable player race.
Yeah, have less than halfway through the season.
Lugo across to Marchesson. McDonald to the circle. Ruiz puck funneled out in front. Marchesson can't do much with it. It's covered up right in net.
Yeah, Lugo, the puck bounced off his stick. It was a good look there by McDonald, getting the puck to an on-rushing Lugo. The puck was bouncing a little bit on him. He never controlled it, so the puck bounced off of him, but it bounced towards the net. And Marchesson was all alone, and he got one swipe at it, but a good pad save by Cavallari, who then got the whistle. So a minute 18 remaining on the Hat-Tricks power play. And we're going to get an offensive zone penalty. Boy, each team kind of committing the Cardinals' sin. Not only an offensive zone penalty, Chris, but while on the power play. First Carolina, and now it's Danbury doing the same.
Boy, howdy. That's a really unfortunate penalty that you just plain old did not need to take.
Yeah, another stick penalty. Just as it was with Keplinger, it is with Dowler. And we're back to 4-on-4 for the next minute 14.
Well, so 4-on-4 time for the next minute and 14 seconds, 17:11 to go here in the second period. Puck sits on the apron, carried out. Gonzalez going to lug this ahead across the red line, dips it right. Gonzalez rammed hard into the boards, sticks at it, tumbling down. Kennedy took a couple of hits. He tripped into the net, fell into it, so not going to call a penalty on that. They're just going to be telling him to regroup, and we'll do a face-off in the Carolina end.
Yeah, it's a bad break for Carolina because they had possession of the puck and they were, about to break out of their zone, but the net comes off the stanchion, and that means the face-off comes in their end, down in their end of the ice. So a little bit of a break there for Danbury in the 4-on-4.
Guarantee you that they are going to be happy with that. Shot funneled on. Gonzalez had his shot blocked. Kennedy will put this out. Salak not there for it. Panicek across the opposite circle. Tried to put it in front for Salak. No room for it. Couldn't find its way home.
But a pretty setup, though, and Salak was all alone. The hat-tricks lost him as he weaved his way in.
Funneled out to neutral space. Robertson will backhand this one around. Cavallari passed up to Ford. There's an A on this team. Kennedy across the middle, handed backwards by Panicek. 15 seconds left on this 4-on-4 session. Here comes Gesso. Coming right downhill, Gesso carries to the slot, winds up, shoots it, save made. Puck goes sky high. Gesso will look to contest it. Panicek will settle this down on the apron and will carry this one out. The hat-tricks are now officially on the penalty kill. They've got 35 more seconds worth of penalty time to go. To the slot, walks in, shot falling down. Wilson didn't know where it was, kicked it out to the circle, and the Thunderbirds look to regroup with 22 seconds. That's about as good a chance as you are going to get.
Yeah, it was Keplinger all alone, down low, and a good pad save by Wilson.
Across shot, save made, didn't know where it was. Ruiz gets on top of this, carries across the red line. Ruiz looks, winds up, blasts it, and right into Cavallari's glove hand. He'll funnel this out, try to not take a defensive zone faceoff while they're on the power play, which expires right now. So Dowler will just head right on back to the bench. Puck bounces out to empty space. Lugo can't quite get there. Wilson will settle it down in his own end of the rink. McDonald will look it, hurls it forward. Gordy Bennell giving chase, icing waved off.
Yeah, waved off. Goalie had to come out to play it because Gordy was beating everybody down the ice.
Alanga looks, turns, puck bounces on his stick. A couple of hat tricks tumbling down row. Out ahead, looking for somewhere to go with it. Butita gathers this up, out to the circle, jumping on top of this and turning around to the right circle. Funneled on net, kicked out here, settled at the blue line by Butita. Tried to funnel it on net. That hit the pipe and got a little bit of Wilson on the way in. Panicek will get this on his stick. Over to the left side, walks it to the circle. Wilson puts it in his glove, and we will take a well-earned media time out upstairs. 14-17 to go here in the second period. Tied up 1-1 between the Hat-Tricks and Thunderbirds.
Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line ball. Robert Hyde drops the puck. We're going to have a fight at center. Avec with a couple of big rights. He scores!
For a comfortable stay with great amenities, the only choice is La Quinta by Wyndham right here in Danbury. As for the Hat-Tricks friends and family rate, you can't beat it. La Quinta. Can't beat Dustin Gesso either. 19 goals on the season. You know, Chris, he's played 17 games. He's had at least 1 point in every single one except one. At least 1 point in 16 of 17 games. He extends his point streak, his personal point streak, to 9 straight games in which he has 9 goals and 12 points. And he almost had another one there in at the end of the 4-on-4. He had a 2-on-2 break with Kuznetsov, and he swung over from right wing to left wing and got a good clean shot off, and it was a good right pad save by Cavallari.
And he was leading the league in points per game right up until Gus Ford decided that he was the next coming of Wayne Gretzky in this league.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness, what a player he's been, and what a player Jesso's been. The two biggest scorers for each of these teams have scored. That seems pretty appropriate in what's otherwise been a pretty straightforward couple of hockey periods. To this point, anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well played hockey.
Across the middle logo. Panacek lugs it forward, wanted it to the opposite circle for Jan Salak. Knocked down. Dowler doing a very good job of shielding this puck. Don Dowler, no room for it. Panacek will walk it to the circle. Panacek winds up shot blocked down. On comes Jesso. Lobs it ahead for Kuznetsov. It's a little far ahead. It's on net. Kuznetsov knocks down the clearing attempt by Cavallari, and Firth is on top of it. As Pastuca knocked down by a charging Falanga. Jesso will get to this one. Jesso walks on, looks for somewhere to go with it. Jesso worked on, still handling it, turns, looks, tries to funnel its way through. Open chance, scores! Dustin Jesso, 2 for 2. He puts the hat tricks in front. Spectacular solo effort.
Solo effort indeed, Chris. That was all Dustin Jesso, and it's so funny because when you're talking about Ford and Jesso before, as you were describing the play, I kept thinking in my head something that I've talked a lot about last year with Dave McIsaac, this year with Billy McCreary. In my opinion, the single most talented individual player in the league is Dustin Jesso. And he shows you right here what he can do with that skill set. I mean, he danced around all 5 Carolina Thunderbirds, finally pulled Cavallari out and found just a sliver to sneak that one in and give Danbury a 2-1 lead.
I think there will be a single assist issued to Falanga. Will be the only person who will get credited for anything else. But otherwise, boy, howdy, has this been the Dustin Jesso show, at least offensively.
Yeah, no, he's come alive here in the second period after a quiet first 20.
Set, but bounces in front. Save made by Wilson. Looks for somewhere to go with it. Gonzalez
save on
the
Rowe.
other way. Dropped it. McKittrick will wrap this one around. McKittrick will look for somewhere to go with it. Backhands it backwards. Kennedy runs out of real estate. McKittrick will dive and work on this one, looking for somewhere to go with this. Dustin Jesso awarded with it. Johnny Ruiz intercepts. Ruiz walks in to the circle. Shot, save made. Dmitry Kuznetsov is being awarded with an assist on that one. Gonzalez also is being awarded with an assist as well. I thought Falanga was going to be credited with one, but that's how that ends up working itself out. 11:52 to go here in the second period.
And how about Kuznetsov now with the 9-game point streak? He's playing his 20th game of the season. He has a point in 19 out of 20 games since he rejoined the Hat Tricks when he came back from the SPHL.
McDonald will ring this one around. Cavallari looking for somewhere to go with it. The whistle sounds with 11:45 left. Yep.
That is a late offside call there by the official.
That's
not saying it's the wrong call, but that was a late call.
That's the latest I've ever seen that sort of call. Wow.
So we'll get a face-off right outside the Carolina blue line, and Danbury now with their first lead of the night, 2-1, and Dustin Jesso hits the 20-goal plateau, his 20th of the season.
McDonald on the red line. Walks this. McDonald will backhand it forward. Luke Richards is skating as the extra forward tonight. Streaking ahead. Benell tries to throw his man off of his rock. Turned over. Ruiz couldn't quite control it. 3-on-2, now 4-on-2 the other way as Ford will tip it off of McDonald's stick into the attacking end of the rink. Lobbed up. That hits the protective netting up top.
And are they going to call delay? Did that touch glass or not on the way out?
I don't know.
Well, let's see. It looks like that is going to be a Carolina power play Riley Robertson just got a little too underneath that one, and he shoveled it right over the top of the glass. Didn't hit anything, so that is going to be Carolina's 5th power play already in the game.
Well, that's quite an unfortunate turn of events, as Robertson is going to be sitting down for the next 2 minutes. 11:22 to go here in the second period. Up to the line and cleared out. Tristan Mock will settle it. One man to beat. Ford was back there playing very responsible defensive hockey. So
playing deep safety is what he was doing.
Yeah. And hey, he's a good complete player. We'll work this around to the right side. And low up top for Ford. Ford tries to put this shot on net. Nothing there. Tita will work this one low. Top of the circle. Works it. Ford winds up, looks for somewhere to go with this one. Ford will take it to the goal line extended. Yao tries to work it off. Minute and 15 to go on the Robertson power play, or Robertson-induced power play. Dowler tries to clear this. Lugo can't get it through the outstretched hand of Pestuka. And to spot at the point. Works this around. Schnapp winds up, shot blocked down. Dowler will clear it off the glass. Actually ends up kind of working. Lugo across the blue line. Holds and waits. Puts it on net. Save made by Cavallari. Butita retreats across the Hat-Tricks logo. Butita walks it on. Wanted to center. It winds up. Shoots it. Wilson with the save off the good Jacob Schnapp shot. Snap shot. That's a good tongue twister.
Yeah. Well, that was a long shift on the penalty kill by Mock. He couldn't get off after he led the rush the other way, so he had to come all the way back. Now he finally is able to clear the puck down the ice, and he is just gassed as he gets back to the bench. That is a 90-second kill by Tristan Mock.
Walks it to the circle, looks for somewhere to go with it. Final 10 seconds of the power play is upon us. Check wanted it, didn't have the look. Final 5 burning off. Walks it to the circle. Gonzalez will work this one around. Top it. Gonzalez still defending. The Hat-Tricks have killed off another penalty. The penalty kill has been very, very effective. Across for Gesso. Gesso will walk this around. Works this man off it. Gesso and McDonald both there for it. They'll retreat and give Carolina room to work with. They're going to go for a partial line change. Carolina will just hold it behind their end of the net. Panacek will leave it and let Joe Kennedy take it up. Now Panacek and Kennedy will play a two-man passing game across the middle. Ruiz can't do much with this, knocked down. Panacek at the top of the circle. Works this around. Keplinger winds up, shoots it, and scores! A point shot tipped on the way in, originally fired by Josh Keplinger, has tied the game at 2 apiece.
And you saw Brian Wilson's reaction. Kind of threw his arms up in the air and flipped his head backwards. That one certainly took a dip on him. He was expecting it to be up. It ended up down, and it snuck by him at 11:18, and we are tied again, this time at 2-2. And we'll have to see the official scoring on that goal.
Peavy and Lugo go out to take the draw. Peavy ends up coming away with it. Martin tries to sneak it through Yao. Hat-Tricks outscoring Carolina here in the second period, but even for the game. We'll take a breather as we have our under 10 media timeout. Brief pause, back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena.
Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line ball. Robert Hyde drops the puck. We're going to have a fight at center. Avec with a couple of big rights. He scores!
Coltec is the founder of Plastic Chamber Technology, and Coltec is headquartered locally right here in Brookfield. Coltec is family-owned and operated with experience in the drainage industry dating back to the 1950s. When you're talking drainage and stormwater, Coltec is the world leader. Contact them today at coltec.com. We get the official scoring. There might have been a deflection on the way, but if it was deflected, that tying goal. It went in off a hat trick stick. So Keplinger, who took the shot from the point, credited with his 14th goal. Panacek, the only assist, and we're tied at 2.
It's been an even game so far. The guys who you expect to figure into the offensive scoring have so far. Looks this in the corner. Gibbs settled it, lost it. Looks for somewhere to go with it. Carried around, top of the circle, winds up completely fans on it. Martin, Rowe. Rowe dips around Kuznetsov. Lugo. Shot sneaks behind Wilson and behind the net.
Yeah,
Kuznetsov.
it's okay if it slips behind him and behind the net, not that it slips behind him.
Yep.
And, you know, Rowe, boy, talk about a guy that can explode. He has 2 7-point games this season.
You need guys like that who can be big parts of your offensive package as Gonzalez tied up against the boards. Lugo.
Listen, man, that would be a season's worth of points for me.
Gives up.
He's got two games where he's totaled 14 points.
Hey, for someone like me who's never really skated, that would be a lifetime worth of goals.
Yeah, true.
Keplinger to the circle, winds up Rowe, shoots it, and scores.
And there
Holy
you
cow.
You see that shot.
Holy cow. What a roof job.
That is a
Wow.
beautiful snap right there. He beats him up high. And, we were just talking about how he can explode. And he scores his 20th goal of the season. He had a couple goals last night in the 6-1 win at Watertown. And now he gets one here tonight. He had been relatively quiet. He was stopped on the first period shorthanded breakaway by Wilson. No stopping him there. Snaps it over the glove of Brian Wilson. And Carolina has regained the lead 3-2.
Just a wonderful performance. Wonderful job to create something on this. And we've got a pause and so here we go. Richards will go and give chase off the face-off. Richards will gather it off, hand it backwards. McDonald and Mock there for it. Tristan Mock gathers and spins, holds it. Mock at the circle, up the left side. McDonald to Richards. It's on net, so no icings. Cavallari will just handle it off to his side. Kennedy up to Butita at the point, knocked down by Gesso. Goodness, have we had ourselves a good and competitive hockey game between two of the better teams in the league.
Well, that's what you would expect.
You put Carolina in the Empire Division, and they are near the top of the standings.
Yeah, they would still be third. They would be behind Danbury and Binghamton.
Yeah.
But they'd be in a better spot than they are right now in the Continental.
Carolina has taken a penalty. Gesso will lob this in, goes and gives chase. Wilson heads off to the bench for the extra attacker. Gesso will skate it. Gesso holds it, waits, looks, will put it up to the point for Dowler. Brendan Dowler up to the right side for Johnny Ruiz, and shot swallowed up with 6:22 left to go, and now he got a tie-up. Oh, here's where the chippiness comes in. Gesso didn't like it. Jesso's tied up. Mock is there.
Yeah, it was Mock in front. Yeah. And Cavallari made the glove save on a shot through his screen. And he might have taken an extra swing at it. Now Gesso getting in the face of Cavallari as well. They get separated. Gesso heads to the bench. Mock heads to the box. And let's see if that potential Danbury power play has been negated here, or are we just going to get more minors, coincidental minors, after the original Carolina penalty, which is what I believe is going to be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see
French is going off too.
Former Danbury hat-trick defenseman Bryce French finding his way to the box. So it should be a Danbury power play.
So he'll sit down. And yeah, it looks like it is going to end up being a hat-tricks power play. So just to recap you on scoring, 1 goal in the first period for Carolina was gotten by Gus Ford. 2 goals here in the frame for Danbury here in the second period. Both of them gotten by Dustin Gesso. One shorthanded, the other on sorcerous wizardries type of skating. And then 2 goals to follow on by Carolina. We get them in and make it a 3-2 lead in favor of the visitors, and Danbury has an opportunity to draw the game back even.
Yeah, so Ford and French. Ford took the original penalty, and then French and Mock went off for coincidental minors. So Danbury does head to their 4th power play.
0 for so far. They've gotten 1 special teams goal, which was shorthanded. Power play has continued to be the only really part of the team that's been a bit disappointing. Everything else has been working great. McDonald lobbed this into the slot. Cavallari tried to clear it. Marchesson got on top of this. McDonald across to Gonzalez. Gonzalez is going to walk this one in. McDonald winds up, shoots it. Bouncing puck. Lugo on top. Can't put it home. Marchesson tries to funnel it in. Ruiz with it, tried the backhander. A lot of traffic in front. Ruiz winds up, blasts it. Carolina had a guy blocking it, and the Thunderbirds are going to clear it out. Hard block for Tucker Firth.
That is his 2nd big block in this game, and it's a little shaken up now as he heads off to the bench. Terrific block by Firth.
Turnover at the opposite end. Shot save made by Wilson. That's a great looking chance for Blake Peavy. Goodness gracious. Up to Dowler. We'll chip it for Gonzalez. Sprinting ahead. They'll ring this one around. Gesso receives it at the opposite end, sneaks underneath his stick and goes back out to neutral territory. Actually all the way down to the opposite end of the rink entirely, as we're now under 5 minutes to go here in the second. 2 goals apiece for each team in the second period. Dowler carries this one on. Wrong round. Robertson and Bennell combined to force this free. Gordy Bennell will walk this on. Bennell drags it, shoots it, save made, big rebound, and it's cleared away by the Thunderbirds. Good defensive work by Yuri Pestuka, and that's the end of the hat-trick power play, but not without some really wonderful efforts. Wilson gonna have to go out and pass this puck out to neutral space. He'll stick it again. Schnapp threw a hit on Jared Yao to blow up that exit. Gesso will try and spring his way free. Gesso up to Falanga. Falanga walks it back to Gesso. Puck goes out of bounds, and we will get that long way to media timeout. Brief pause back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
These police officers are trading their duty gear for hockey gear. Because on January 7th at UConn, something very special is happening to benefit the Special Olympics.
We're participating in a hockey competition called the Bender Classic. It's all about police officers who don't know how to skate, skating against each other to raise money for Special Olympics. Our goal is to raise $20,000. If you would like to help, please donate at benderclassichockey.com. Thanks and have a great day.
Litchfield Distillery is the spirit of hard work. The Batchers of Litchfield Distillery, in honor of the early farmers of Northwest Connecticut, present to you the locally made Litchfield Distillery bourbon, vodka, and gin. Grab it at the rabbit hole and hoist the barrel with the Danbury Hat Tricks. And got a little bit of work to do if the Hat Tricks are going to hoist the barrel tonight. 3:54 to go in the second. Hat Tricks trail Carolina 3-2. And, you know, we mentioned, the name Justin Firth before. 2 big blocks, already in this game. It's always about the little things, coaches will tell you. And those little things are big things, and Firth coming through with another big block, denying the Hat Tricks a prime scoring opportunity.
By the way, on the second Carolina goal, go ahead and add an assist to Gus Ford, a secondary assist on the second one. So Ford with 2 points tonight, as if he really needed the help to lead the league in scoring.
Well, listen, that's still under his average per game.
Still.
He needs another half point.
Goodness gracious. Puck bounces to McDonald, cleared out to the opposite end of the rink. Richards giving chase. 3:20 left to go in the second period. Richards with the check. Up the side of the boards, up to Butita. Across the red line, Butita for Kennedy. Kennedy walks in, circle, looks for somewhere to go with it. Kennedy backhand scores. Drew Wilson out of position, and a very nice backhanded play by Joseph Kennedy to make it a 4-2 lead for the Carolina Thunderbirds.
Yeah, you know, I think Wilson's going to want this one back. That puck just slid along the ice. Now, Kennedy did get around Dowler. Dowler kind of lost his man there right in front of the net. And Kennedy is able to slide a backhand in for Joseph Kennedy. That is his 5th goal of the season. That is his 2nd point of the game. He has a goal and an assist in this one. And now Danbury is in a 2-goal hole with 3:07 to go in period number 2.
Draw one by Carolina immediately after the goal. Puck rang around, settled by Wilson. Dowler. Look for somewhere to go with this one. Dowler up the side, chipped out by McKittrick. 2:50 left to go. I believe this is the first time the Hat-Tricks have trailed by multiple goals at home. Throughout the course of this season, they have been hard to beat here at the Danbury Ice
Arena. They've been impossible to beat so far.
To this point.
Yeah.
And Carolina is in great position right now to deal what would be their first loss of any kind here at home. Only one regulation loss for the Hat-Tricks so far. That came in Columbus, Georgia, the only team that has a higher point total in the FPHL.
And better points percentage.
Yep. Remember, the Hat-Tricks also have a bunch of games where they've gone to overtime. It's 5 overtime wins. 4 of them, I believe. And that does end up costing you points in this league, the way the points system is set up. Walks in, shot save made by Wilson. French at the point across the left side, winds up, shoots it. Wilson makes the save. Another chance in front and scores. Oh my goodness, it's 5-2, and the Carolina Thunderbirds are enjoying themselves.
Yeah, hey, listen, give them credit. You know, after Gesso put on his show and gave Danbury the 2-1 lead, Carolina has come alive with 4 unanswered goals here. And 4 goals in less than 7 minutes as they've just exploded here against Brian Wilson and the Danbury Hat-Tricks. And so now, boy, Danbury's really got their work cut out for them. Down by 3 late in period number 2.
Wow. Carolina has been on a hot streak, and that only looks to be continuing here tonight as Lugo will get to this one. Tries to dance around his man, no room to go with it. Walks into the circle, dips around, jarred free. Richards will lob this off the side boards. McDonald sprinting ahead. Schnapp got there first. Robertson will wind up and ring this one around. Settled by Camilleri for a moment. Falanga can't get to this one. Kennedy tries to handle it up the right side. Rowe can't do much with it. It actually went back to the point. Carolina gets on top of this. 1:15 left. Robertson across. Richards winds up. Shot by Ruiz, fanned on it completely. Stuff just hasn't really been working. Across, puck sneaks away. Hat-Tricks have come back from multiple goals. The day after Thanksgiving, they went to Elmira, down by 3 with under 7 minutes left to go. They came back all the way, so that's the sort of comeback effort that's going to be required to win this game for the Hat-Tricks. McKittrick winds up. Gordy! Shot! No! That didn't go home! How did that not go in? The net came off its moorings, and Gordy Bonnell is going to argue that should be a goal. The official saying that net came off its moorings beforehand.
Again, we're not down on the ice, but it looked like it went right up underneath the crossbar in the corner. And let's see if we can get a replay on that. See if we can get a look at it. The officials are discussing it right now, but the call on the ice is that it's no goal. And unless somebody had a real definitive looking and say, hey, no, that was in, there is no video replay, and that call would stand on the ice. But let's see. The officials are talking about it right now.
I don't think they're going to overturn this one.
And they're getting the linesman involved as well. So if we could just re-rack that one more time and get a look here. It's hard because it's a distance here. But Bonnell through the screen. Yeah, you just can't tell. with the naked eye, Chris,
Yeah.
I thought it was in. I
thought
it
it
went
was too.
under. You certainly did not hear any pipe, which to me would mean that it hit net. But no goal is the call on the ice. There is no video replay, obviously, in this league. And so the deficit remains 5-2.
Boy, howdy. Stuff just is not working right now for the Hat-Tricks. They're going to have the final 20 seconds of this period and the next 20 minutes of the third as Cavallari stumbles in his net. McKittrick throws his weight into the corner. Bennell does as well. Thunderbirds are going to try and just get this out of their own end. They will. Sprinting ahead was Keplinger. Didn't have much room for it. The final couple of seconds will burn off. The Carolina Thunderbirds are in control of this game 5-2, and the Danbury Hat-Tricks have a lot of work to do this evening.
Yeah, I know that it didn't matter who shot that puck, and where it could have been a goal. It was ruled no goal, but it could look like it could have been a goal. But boy, that it was Gordy Bennell too, who has really kind of scratched and clawed this season and has just not been able to find the goal-scoring groove. Boy, that would have been a sweet one. It would have been a huge goal, too, because there is a massive difference heading into the final 20 minutes. Down 3, having allowed 4 straight goals, as opposed to being down 2, and hey, we just scored one in the final minute. It's a completely different vibe as you go into the room now if you're the Danbury Hat-Tricks and the Carolina Thunderbirds as well, who lead at 5-2.
Quite a sequence, quite a couple of mishaps, unfortunately, for the Hat-Tricks that leave them down in this game, and they've been snake bit for a bunch of this game. And also, it's not just that. Carolina has played their best game against one of their toughest opponents. They've done wonderfully up here.
Very, very impressed with Carolina coming off the game last night, being shorthanded, which we talked about how that could be a key in favor of the Hat-Tricks, but that has not come to play, and that's credit to the Carolina Thunderbirds. Recapping a lot of scoring. We didn't even give you the scoring on a few of these goals here because they were coming fast and furious. Gus Ford scored the only goal of the first period. His 22nd at 16:30. Carolina led 1-0 after 1. In the second at 1:06, Tustin Gesso scored an unassisted goal shorthanded on a shorthanded breakaway, his 19th of the season. Then Gesso at 6:33 gave the Hat-Tricks their first lead of the night at 2-1. Goal at 6:33, Jesso's 20th of the season. Just an absolutely amazing one-man effort on that one. Kuznetsov and Gonzalez with the assist. But then Carolina came alive and exploded. Beginning at 11:18, they tied the game. An even strength goal from Keplinger, his 14th from Panacek and Ford. That tied the game at 2 apiece. Just a little more than a minute later, Carolina regained the lead at 12:31. Rowe, his 20th goal of the season. Firth and Keplinger with the assists there. Then at 16:53, Kennedy was able to slither around Dowler, slide a backhand past Wilson, his 5th of the season. Butita and Keplinger with the assists. And at 18:10, maybe the backbreaker here, Carolina takes a 5-2 lead. Salak, his 7th of the season. Rowe and Firth with the assists on that one. And that's where we are right now after 2 periods of play. Carolina Thunderbirds leading the Danbury Hat-Tricks 5-2, Chris.
This has been quite a showing for the Thunderbirds. They've gotten all the offensive looks that they've wanted, a big explosion. And normally the Hat-Tricks are able to get their offensive momentum going in the second period if stuff doesn't quite work out. But here we are looking at an opportunity for the Hat-Tricks to maybe write a big third period comeback, or for Carolina to deal Danbury their first home loss of any kind in the 22-23 season.
Yep, and Billy McCreary obviously is going to be trying to rally the troops right now, maybe blowing the roof off that locker room right now. I know typically we speak with Billy in the second intermission. I guess we'll play that by ear. We'll see if the head coach will join us. And I guess we can take a break, and hopefully we'll come back with Billy McCreary. If not, we will return with period number 3 with the Hat-Tricks trailing, Chris. Back here at Danbury Arena, Jim Cerny with you in between periods. We head to the third period shortly. Danbury trailing 5-2. We're joined by head coach and general manager Billy McCreary. And Billy, you haven't seen too many deficits after first or second periods this season in this building. Got yourself a 3-goal hole here. What's the message to the boys after 2 periods?
Oh, we got to start to play some hockey. I don't think we skated well that period. I don't think we threw a hit all period. We just kind of let them come out and do their thing, and it wasn't a good period for us. So we have to come out, play our game, use our speed, use our physicality, and fight our way back in this thing.
Looked like that you were gaining some momentum there. Gesso scores the shorthanded goal, and then just an amazing solo effort from Gesso to get you up 2-1. What happened after that from your perspective?
Yeah, same thing that's happened to us when we've had lulls this season. We rely on our skill, and we forget about our will. And when the will goes away, the skill's irrelevant, and I think that was a recipe there, that 20.
You and I spoke last night, and you were telling me you ducked in there. I forgot how you segued into it, but you ducked in there. He said, "Yeah, now we got Carolina coming in this weekend, and that's going to be a really, really good test for us." They've been all that and more so far tonight, and especially coming off a game last night. They played last night. They traveled. They come here. Look, they're a little bit shorthanded as well, personnel-wise. What have you seen from them so far?
Oh, they've been playing some really good hockey here as of late, and you hit the nail on the head. They're shorthanded here tonight, but they're playing a smart, simple game, and they're outworking us. And that's what's so disheartening for us on home ice. We have our grade A lineup, and the will isn't there, the physicality isn't there. We're expecting it to be easy, and that's a good hockey club. They're well coached. They've had a tough schedule here as of late, and they've been winning a lot of hockey games, and we weren't ready for the first 2 periods, that's for sure.
Daniel McKittrick is making his hat-tricks debut. We saw a lot of him. His first shift, he had a pretty good scoring opportunity. Certainly brings a lot of energy. It's an early first couple period look and everything. What do you expect from him, and what have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, I've liked his game for 40 minutes. A lot of speed, a lot of skill, plays the right way, possesses pucks, get pucks to the net, good wide speed, and he's a competitor. So, we got him out there on the PK a little bit. He did a good job, and that's been one bright spot here this game for us is our PK. But 5-on-5, we gotta step it up in a big way here.
Couple injury updates from you for us. I know Frankie McClendon was able to dress as the backup tonight, so I'm assuming that he's good to go coming back from tweaking the shoulder last week.
Yeah, he's all set. It was a little bit of a scare there, but got a great training staff, and they've been working hard at getting him back here, so he's good to go.
And Zach Pamelayan missing his 3rd game with the shoulder injury. How close is he?
We just decided to give him the weekend off. He's probably at 90-95%, but we've got some healthy bodies here that are on the ice tonight, and give him another week and get him ready for Mississippi next week.
And then I touch on this in the broadcast, but you might get a little jolt. You add McKittrick today to the lineup, but you might get Tobias Ojic back real soon too.
Yeah, for sure. OG's plan is to be back next week and get him on the ice for a week, back in the lineup against Mississippi. And, OG certainly brings some physicality. He has the ability to find the net. He makes plays. He's a tenacious hockey player. And, he's certainly going to give us the depth that we need.
Billy McCreary, the head coach and general manager of the Hat-Tricks, is with us in between periods. Danbury trailing Carolina 5-2. So you said you delivered your message, and I know I chuckled. You're not chuckling, but I'm chuckling at how you phrase that. You delivered your message. So what's the expectation once you leave the room? You deliver whatever that message is, whatever you have to say. Is the expectation from a coach that your veterans then take over the room, that, Johnny and the rest of the veterans take over the room there? What is your expectation after you have your say?
Well, we got great leadership in that room, and we got tremendous coaches, around myself here. So, I just had to say my piece, and we need to we need to elevate our our will. Everybody thinks Danbury's a tough hockey team, but when we don't play tough, we don't get the results. So we have to play our game and, send that message in between periods there, come out, play Danbury hockey for 20 minutes. If we do that, this place is a very difficult place to play. Our fans will support us, and as long as the guys are, driving that message on the ice, this is a special place, this is a special night, anything can happen here.
One final one for you. Standing behind the bench and seeing the pregame ceremony for Melanie Frankel, I know she's meant so much to you since you've come to this organization and hockey in Danbury, and her passing on New Year's Day from losing her battle with ALS. I guess your thoughts, your emotions during the ceremony, and of course just in the bigger picture of losing a member of the Hattricks family.
Yeah, I certainly did my best to hold back my tears there before the game, but was impossible to do so. And I was very fortunate to know Melanie first as a competitor here, playing for the New Jersey Outlaws against the Danbury Whalers, and she was always the first to heckle you and then the first to buy you a beer and smile with you after. And to finally be on the same side as her, it was great. When I got here, everybody, including Melanie, welcomed me with open arms, and I got to tell you, that smile is contagious. And the tough days at the rink, tough periods of hockey, behind the bench, and you get to walk out and you always see her. She's always there, believing in us and knowing that at the end of the day, if we play our way, we're going to be successful. And it's tough not having her tonight, and I think the emotional effects were certainly felt in the first 40 minutes. And the challenge to the boys is go out and fight. You have an opportunity to breathe. That's an opportunity to seize. That's an opportunity to be great. It's an opportunity to get back in this game. So we got to use her as an inspiration here.
Hattricks trail 5-2 after 2 periods of play. Billy, thanks for a few minutes.
Thank you, sir.
Chris and I will be back to start the 3rd period in about 5 minutes. This is Danbury Hattricks hockey.
Right off the jump, we've got ourselves a line ball. Robert Hyde drops the puck.
We're going to have a fight at center.
Avec with a couple of big rights. He scores!
Melanie was such a tremendous, wonderful woman who not only loved the sport of hockey and the city of Danbury, but she also loved people. And you could really tell that whether you knew her for 10 years or for 10 minutes. She was just such a tremendously caring, positive person.
Melanie was a tremendous person and a loyal hockey fan. She will be truly missed. Melanie always led with a smile and really loved life. All of Melanie's friends, families, and hockey fans will be in our thoughts and prayers.
To the Frankel family and Melanie, we're praying for you. We love you. You're always a rabbit, and you'll forever be a part of our Hat Tricks family. Thank you for all of your love and support over the years, and grateful to call you a friend.
I truly can say it was an honor getting to know Melanie, one of the kindest and sweetest hearts out there. When I think about my time in Danbury and reflect on it, certain people and faces instantly pop into my head, and Melanie and the Frankel family are definitely part of that group.
Melanie was one of those people that when she smiled, she just lit the room up. Amazing smile, amazing personality. You know, just truly one of those people that blessed everyone that she had the opportunity to be around.
She was a great friend of mine, a great supporter of Danbury hockey, and she'll truly be missed by all.
I remember even in my earlier Danbury days, getting ready for a road trip, and Melanie and the family would be on their way to bring us, you know, some food and snacks for the road, this, that, etc. And it didn't matter if we were about to leave or not. The bus would not leave until they gave us what we needed.
One final period of play to go between the Hat Tricks and Carolina Thunderbirds. Let me give you a quick look at some of the other scores from around the FPHL. Elmira in the lead over Delaware 4-2. Columbus leads Motor City 1-0. Watertown leads Mississippi 2-0. And Binghamton 12-2 over Port Huron.
Yeah, they're laying the hammer down, and you know, again, I appreciated you mentioning the Q&A that I did with Billy McCreary. That's up on the website today. Fans should check it out. Cover a lot of different topics, but one of those topics is, hey Billy, this 21-2 start, and you barely have any breathing room over the second place team because Binghamton's been pretty darn good this season as well. And you know, Binghamton has a chance to pick up some big points and big point percentage on the Hat Tricks unless we see a big rally by Danbury in the third period tonight.
2 goals by Dustin Gesso are the only 2 up on the board for the Hat Tricks. 5 big ones up on the scoreboard for the Carolina Thunderbirds. The puck is dropped. We're underway. Puck funneled across, looking for somewhere to go with it. Lobbed in. Retreating in, wrapped back around to the right side. Bennell will leave it for McKittrick in the offensive corner. Spins, tried to funnel it on. Scores! 22 seconds in, and the Hat Tricks have gotten 1 goal back. The captain, Johnny Ruiz, gets them on the board.
Huge goal, Chris. Exactly what Danbury needed to start this period and swing things back their way. Get Carolina guessing a little bit. That's why that 5th goal, boy, by Carolina was so important, because otherwise we're talking a 1-goal game right now. But still, you get a quick one here. Now you breathe some life back into the building and into your bench. And hey, who's the guy who gets it? It's the captain. You know, Johnny was talking between periods, trying to rally the troops. So he did the talking. Now he backs it up with his play. Huge goal, Johnny Ruiz. It's 5-3.
A clean face-off win for Dustin Gesso on the draw immediately afterwards. And the Hat Tricks almost just as quickly iced this puck.
Johnny's 17th goal of the season. He's second on the team behind Dustin Gesso, who has 2 tonight and 20 on the season. And of course, Johnny just hit that great milestone, his 100th FPHL goal last week. Very, very cool round number. That's not so round anymore as he pots one here, but certainly congratulations on that milestone for Johnny Ruiz.
He's been a consistent player. All but 10 of his goals have come in a Danbury Hat Tricks uniform. He played 3 games on loan to the SPHL and has played during the 2021 season when the Hat Tricks were on hiatus in the middle of the pandemic. Ruiz was loaned out to the Elmira Enforcers, not the Mammoth then. He played and scored 10 goals while a member of that team. Otherwise, all of his tallies have been as a hat trick.
So he's now closing in on 100 goals as a hat trick. He's chipping away at that number as well.
Gesso will funnel this around through Falanga. Tristan Mock will go over and get this one. Mock looks. Trying to wrap this through up to the point for Dowler. To the circle. Works on Gesso, shoots it. Save made by the outstretched pad of Cavallari. Turned over here. Thunderbirds will walk it in top of the circle. Shot save made by Wilson. And a save when they needed it. And a little tie-up as well for a little bit of extracurricular discussion.
Yeah, Schnapp came in there late and just, threw it was even a half-hearted cross-check. I don't know if that was Dowler or Yao that was on the receiving end of it. But, Schnapp just, he's doing his thing. That's what he does. He runs his mouth, comes in late, chippy guy, but smart, good player when he's on your team. Not exactly the guy that you enjoy playing against. And now he very slowly heads back to the Carolina bench. Face off to the left of Brian Wilson.
Lugo and Ford will tango on the face-off dot. A minute and 33 seconds gone here in the third period. Man down. Oh, this is going to be a long penalty for Marchesson. Immediately reaching for his face to see if blood had been drawn was Tucker Firth. If there is blood, and if that is drawn, that's an automatic double minor. Looked over at him. It's going to be at least 2. It's a high sticking infraction against Michael Marchesson. With 18:22 to play here.
And let's see. I don't see any blood
2 minutes
on the ice. Yeah, so it's a 2-minute high sticking minor for Marchesson, and it's the 6th power play tonight for Carolina.
For the most part, the hat trick penalty kill has been effective. Really, for the most part of this season, it's been a very effective penalty kill, and now they're asked to keep it at a 2-goal deficit. It goes back up to 3. Carolina's feeling much better about themselves after giving up the goal just a handful of seconds in, as Robertson is just keeping this puck stapled into the boards and not letting it move. It's not very interesting hockey to watch, but it's very good penalty killing.
Yeah, it's very effective.
Petita up to the blue line. Walks it, holds it, looks, shoots it. Blocked off of McDonald. Pestuka will get on top of it. Deeks around Ruiz. Robertson throws a stick at him. Pestuka up to the right side. To the circle, looks for somewhere to go with it. Winds up shot. Blocker save made by Brian Wilson. Pestuka. Low to Schnapp. Pestuka across to the right side. Gus Ford, who has 2 points in this game, dances around Ruiz. Tries to backhand it into the slot. Robertson skies it high. Ruiz got it on his hand and cleared it out. Whatever you have to do in order to make that play, you make it. Ford regains. McDonald tries to run him off. Ford still with it. Holds it at the right side of the circle. 47 seconds left to go on this power play. Walks it low. Rowe looks, steps off. Rowe. Wire it down low to Schnapp. Schnapp spins, puts it towards the center. McDonald will bang it off the glass and out to Dustin Gesso, who will whack this puck to the opposite end of the rink. We've got 27 seconds worth of power play time still to kill, and a turnover here. Gesso walks in, shot save made. Gesso gets on the rebound, shot save made again, and cleared off to the opposite side. That's much more interesting penalty killing.
Yes. Boy, Mario Cavallari has committed one turnover after another by overhandling the puck.
Oh boy, we have a Thunderbird go tumbling into the net. Mock tying himself up.
Yeah, Dowlers and Keplinger head over heels into the back of the net after the whistle. I do not believe there was going to be a penalty for that. But now Mock is tied up with Rowe. And let's see if we get penalties out of that.
I think they're just guiding those guys off to the bench at least. They're sending Mock off here.
Yeah,
they're still going now. They're going to the boxes.
Yeah,
both of them will go off.
Yeah, Mock and Rowe will go. But Dowler, that was fine line right there because it was after the whistle, and he clearly laid a cross check, or it wasn't a heavy one, but still
it was close.
A cross check. And, he sent his man Keplinger into the back of the net, and Danbury probably a little fortunate that no penalty was called there.
That was very close as far as how that ended up working itself out. Captain Ruiz going over to have a chat. Teams are actually going to go out to neutral ice, I think. Yep. We'll have a face-off in neutral ice, so this will kill off most of the remaining time.
And boy, Mock and Rowe are giving it to each other from their respective spots or their spots in their respective penalty boxes. Mock tried to get the last word in, and now Rowe is staring at him, helmet off. He's giving it to Mock. And now Mock is standing up, and he's yelling at Rowe.
Those guys don't like each other very much. Good face-off win originally for Carolina. This will find its way back into neutral ice, and the Hat-Tricks have successfully killed off this penalty. Now they look for 2 more goals. Panacek will give chase at this loose puck. Wilson tried to stick it aside, turned over here. Big hit by Yao. Dowler gets on top of this. No whistle. Both teams thought that there was going to be a penalty, but no, it's a play on, and another check thrown to hit Dowler. Martin doing the honors on that one. Marchesson will get to this one, and now we've got a penalty, and now we got some very upset hockey players.
Well, Vanacek, was upset. He got obliterated by Yao, thought there was maybe going to be a penalty. He went off. So Vanacek then came around around the net, went after Yao, hit him, okay. Then he bounced off Yao, and he came up high on Richards, and that might be a high stick, and Richards is cut. He's showing the blood now to the officials.
Panacek has already gone off to the box, it's worth noting.
Yes. So the question is, will it be 2? Will it be 4? And boy, that's an undisciplined play.
Yeah. It's one you didn't need to make, and it's one the Hat-Tricks are going to have an opportunity to capitalize on right here. And yep, Richards, we can see him as we're walking off here. Yep, he got that one pretty good. By rule, if you draw blood, that's an automatic double minor.
And Richards is heading to get repairs right now. It looked like he got clipped. Looks like the mouth or the lip. His upper lip was swollen pretty good. And he got cross-checked right in the mouth. And that is an undisciplined play right there by Panacek.
They're just putting up now the other penalties for for Mock and for Rowe. So those are just appearing up on the board. They've put a 2-minute minor on for Panacek. That might change. The officials are having a very elongated conversation with Dre, the public address man here, about the goings-on and happenings and what that's going to actually be ruled as.
Yeah, Johnny Ruiz wasn't happy initially with the official. I saw him get pretty upset. So, if it is only a 2-minute minor and Richards is bleeding, I could see where Ruiz would be so upset. So both captains are there, Butita and Ruiz. Both referees are there. And we're awaiting the official word, but you're right. We see 2 minutes on the board. And if that's the case, that's a break for Carolina. But even if it's only 2 minutes, Danbury has to find a way to score a power play goal here, make them pay, and cut this down to a 1-goal deficit.
Let's catch you up on the scoring and how that has worked itself out. It's a 5-3 game. The Hat-Tricks got 2 goals in the second period. Our friends, the visitors from Carolina, got 1 in the first period. Gus Ford managed to get that one home. 2 points on the night for Gus Ford. And then the Thunderbirds exploded after the Hat-Tricks got 2 back, both from Dustin Jesso, with Dmitry Kuznetsov and Kyle Gonzalez assisting on Jesso's second goal. The first one was a shorthanded goal and a beauty at that one. Carolina then exploded for 4 goals in a little under 7 minutes to close out the second period. And Johnny Ruiz answered with 22 seconds gone by in the third period to make it a 5-3 game. Danbury has already killed off a penalty, and now we're in the litigation business just to sort out what will actually go up on the board and what people are going to have to serve.
Yeah, we'll see. And you mentioned Ruiz's goal. Should point out that Daniel McKittrick had the primary assist. So in his debut with the Hat-Tricks, he picks up his first point as a member of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. And Gordy Bennell, he had a great shift prior to that goal. He picked up the secondary assist. So indeed, it is only a 2-minute minor, despite the bloodied mouth of Richards. And he's still getting cleaned up now by the trainer right behind the Danbury bench.
We're showing you the tie-up. One of the things that separated here showed it here. Continued very good, and we're very thankful for Calvin Savoya and all of the attending folks who have helped to make our broadcast possible. We're very thankful to all of you who are enjoying your evening of hockey with us.
So Bryce French has now gone into the Carolina penalty box as well. So they have 3 players in the box, but I see. So Richards is going to the box as well. So perhaps it was a double minor, but Richards took a penalty as well, negating one of those minors.
I see. That would make some sense. That's tough. That's a really tough way for that to go. He was getting attended to in the tunnel underneath.
Right. So that's why he didn't go straight to the box.
Well, we've got they're taking one of the players. French is going back to the bench after being in the penalty box. I'm a little confused right now. Danbury currently has 4 skaters on the ice, as does Carolina. Are we going to have a meaningful stretch of 4-on-4 skating time after all this?
Well, Mock and Rowe went out for coincidental minors, so that should be 4-on-4, but it should be 4-on-3. Because there are 2 penalties here against Carolina, 1 against Danbury.
They've now increased that to a 4-minute double minor on Panachek.
Which is what we thought, and then Richards took a penalty as well.
Okay, so we are going to get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 skating time. And remember, on a double minor, it doesn't come off, so the hat-tricks are going to get 2 minutes worth of a 5-on-4 power play. But with another step at it, and even still, what's going on? The officials are now getting together to talk about something again, and the hat-tricks fans are getting a little bit impatient, and out come the Boo-Birds.
Yeah, and I think Carolina's saying that the face-off should come out to center ice, and they would be right if there are coincidental minors called on the play.
So it is going to come out to neutral space, not right at the center dot logo. Okay. So after all of that, we still have 15:58 worth of this game to play. Ruiz won the faceoff, carried it on forward. Kennedy got there. So after all of that, we're going to have 2 minutes worth.
At some point, it should be right now, Chris.
Yeah, it should be, but well, Ruiz with the backhander shot on just a little bit wide. Winds up second chance, skied into the protective netting overhead. 15:37 left to go. I am very confused as to why that was ruled as it was.
So let's see here.
It's matching roughing minors for Lucas Rowe and Tristan Mock. That's an earlier penalty.
Yes, and then double minor for high sticking, and then they're calling Cody Gibbs for a slash, but it's not Gibbs, it's Richards that's in the box. So he got the slash.
Yeah, that. Oh no, it was Richards who was being called for the slash. That's what's up on the scoreboard there.
Yeah.
They've got 44 up there.
Yeah, the message that they sent us.
Yeah.
Well, boy, Firth just took a slash at Yao, and Bennell then retaliated for Danbury. So Billy McCreary, in between periods, said he was looking for a little fire out of his team, and we've seen it so far in the third period.
And definitely willing to go with each other. Walks in, stapled into the boards, taken down by Brendan Dowler. Across for Dustin Gesso, he'll leave it for McKittrick. But none of it native will carry it forward across the blue line, glides in, spins, lost control of the puck, and therefore it was Daniel Martin flipped out to neutral space. Gonzalez will get on top of this. Gonzalez across the red line, tries to cut his way through, cleared out. 27 seconds worth of 4-on-4 time left to go. Richards will be coming out of the box at that next chance. Gesso will gather and go. And they are going to get those 2 minutes of power play time one way or another ultimately. Final 10 seconds of 4-on-4 skating time. Carolina trying to get this out into neutral space. And that part is mission accomplished. The first part of this special team sequence is done. Richards sprints across, and the Hat-Tricks will set up their power play. Jared Yao will leave it across for Brendan Dowler. At the left side, Gordy Bennell. Up the wing, he'll ring this around. Jesso's at the other side looking to receive this one. Got it to his backhand. Works it to Marcia Son, holds it, wants it up for the point for Jared Yao. Winds up, looks, wanted the tip. It skitters aside. Jesso will control it, and they'll keep working around. 1:30 left to go on this 2-minute infraction. 2 minutes hard, no early release. Jesso will swap spots with Bennell. Up top to Yao. Yao carries it down to the right circle, winds up, shoots it, looks for the tip. It bounces to the opposite circle and cleared out to neutral ice. Brian Wilson will come out and stick it and settle it. Gives it over to Dustin Jesso, who has 2 of the 3 Hat-Tricks goals this evening. Got them both in the second period. Johnny Ruiz with the third. Jesso glides on. Across, backhands this one across. Johnny McDonald and Michael Marchesson there for it. McDonald will carry it on. Wanted to center it. Will take it behind the net from Marchesson instead. Fumbled it in his skates. Got it back. 50 seconds of power play time to go. Shoots it. Goes a little bit wide, and Johnny Ruiz will get to this one. Ruiz carries it, holds it, looks for somewhere to go with it, puts it up top for Gonzalez. Ruiz will backhand this one low for Lugo. Lugo holds up. Ruiz, they are working this around very patiently. Ruiz will walk in, take some space. Shots, big save made by Cavallari. Second shot flutters over the net, and Schnapp will clear this to the opposite end of the rink with 25 seconds left on the power play.
Now Johnny Ruiz had a couple opportunities there, including one on the rebound, but it ended up, as you said, going right over the net.
Falanga glides in, shoots it. Save made. 10 seconds left to go on the power play. Falanga and Lugo will give chase. Carolina trying to clear this out to neutral space. Gonzalez will settle this down. And are they calling this for an offside? They are. So we're going to take a breather. A well-deserved media timeout. Brief pause back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel.
New Haven Nighthawk Brewing is brewed right here in Connecticut and featured at the Rabbit Hole. New Haven Night Brewing Company is the beverage of choice at Danbury Arena. Grab a cold one and party like you're in Elm City. 12:02 remaining in the third. Hat-Tricks trail 5-3. They are now 0 for 5 on the power play, but 6 for 6 on the penalty kill. So I guess on one hand, pretty good. Special teams, on the other hand, not so much. And really, that was a vital power play for them there to get right back in this one. They're still in it. But, boy, big difference as you wind down in the third period, being down 2 goals as opposed to maybe being down 1.
4 seconds of power play time left. Worth noting on those on the shorthanded side of it, not only are they an even 0, they're a +1, actually, on the shorthanded with Dustin Jesso.
That's a good point.
Getting the lone tally on that one. Dowler will wind up, tries to funnel it through. Yao looks for something. Jesso in front, nothing there. Got on top of this one, and the penalty has expired. Jesso still in attacking position. Jesso will put it up to Dowler, sneaks behind him, and sprinting ahead to the opposite end is Panacek. He'll gather it up and carry it onto the circle. Gathered up is Keplinger. He's got a goal tonight. Tried to put it onto the circle, intercepted by Falanga. Backhanded pass up. They'll ring this one round. Camilleri will settle this down. Panacek looks to exit his end. He does. Across the center dot logo. Keplinger to Wilson. Wilson will settle it. Shots listed on the board at 22-21. It has been a relatively even game outside of the last 7 minutes of the second period, which have been pretty clearly in the favor of the Carolina Thunderbirds. The third, Danbury has had slightly more of the play go in their favor. They've got the one goal, but there have been opportunities for more here.
Yeah, absolutely, and right on the doorstep there, Justin Gesso in that last sequence. Puck was bouncing on him. He was right. He was in the right spot. The puck came to him on a rebound, but it was bouncing. Couldn't get off the clear shot, and the Hat-Tricks came away with nothing.
Blocked shot up to Kuznetsov. Sits at the red line, throws a hip check. Lugo, this will be jarred free. Sprinting in is McDonald. Gets control of it. Tried to funnel it on, upended. And the Thunderbirds will get on top of this and try and generate some speed. Breaking across the middle. Robertson read that one correctly. Robertson will retreat. Carries it, holds it right against the apron of the goal. Looks and looks, coming up on 10 minutes left to go, 10:30 at this point. Left to go in regulation time. Blocked down by Lugo. We've got a man down for Carolina. Marchessault, I think, is going to go off. It's a high-sticking penalty, and Marchessault not happy with that. That's not a good penalty to take. I mean, no penalty is, but at this point in time in the game, you're overextending your penalty kill already 6 times on the kill.
Yep, you're midway through the third period right now. It's kind of a make or break penalty kill for the Hat-Tricks. They need another kill here. Again, remember, this is a good power play. Came in third best in the league at just under 22%, even though they're 0 for 6 tonight.
Ruiz won the faceoff, clears it to the opposite end. So a good start on this penalty kill. And indeed, it's a 2-minute high stick by Marchessault. Keplinger to the top of the circle. Rowe retreats. Gonna leave it low. Cross, nice passing on the power play. To the right dot. Fades and looked. Panacek tipped by Ruiz. Fumbled for a moment. Carolina still with possession. Half-board swapping spots. Keplinger pivots, circle, looks for somewhere else to go with it. Up to the point. Held and looking. Top of the circle, Ruiz tried to jar it free. Held it, wanted to connect it to Rowe. Took a weird bounce off of him, and we've got a whistle away from the puck. The net came off its mooring. So we're going to have a media timeout on that. 9:35 left to go. 1:12 left on the current Carolina power play. Brief pause, back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena.
Dr. Matt Hartsburg is an official member of the Danbury Hat-Tricks medical team. Hartsburg Chiropractic is cutting-edge chiropractic care right here in your backyard. Check out Hartsburg Chiropractic and get on the road to a pain-free hockey season.
1 minute and 8 seconds of penalty time left to go for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Up to the blue line, looks for somewhere else with it. Low on the right, behind for Panacek. Keeps working this one up to Rowe. We've got another whistle to blow the play dead. 9:15 left.
Looks like we're going to get a slashing penalty, and it's going to be Keplinger. And boy, Keplinger.
Wow.
He is hot as he's heading to the box. So that negates the power play and will give Danbury eventually an abbreviated power play.
And by the way, the Hat-Tricks penalty kill tonight, 7 for 7. Previously 6 for 6 on the penalty kill. That's been one of their best performances in that situation of the season.
And especially considering the opponent. So Danbury will go to the power play in 52 seconds, but until then, skate 4-on-4.
They've got opportunities to climb back into this one. Up the boards, carrying forward is Butita. Butita gets it to his backhand, tried to funnel it across. Wilson hit the post on the net on his way down. Kennedy works on this one. The hat trick's calling. There's some of the fans saying that the net came off its moorings. The officials playing on. The official actually is going to come over and put it back in right as Wilson makes a save with 20 seconds left to go on the Marchesson penalty. Gonzalez will carry this one out across and underneath Johnny McDonald's stick. He'll hold it up and dip it backwards for Dustin Gesso, who will hold it. The final 10 seconds left to go on Marchesson's penalty. He'll hold it and just let things develop. Marchesson is going to be jumping into the offensive sequencing would be my guess. Marchesson's out. He's actually heading to the box. They're going to get McKittrick on. Gesso tries to muscle his way through, and McKittrick will put this one up the left side. McKittrick, already with a point in this game, sends a Thunderbird down to the ice. People already like him a lot for his handles. Dowler keeps it at the point, walks it, shoots it, and a save made, sends it into the protective netting over top.
Yeah, you know, McKittrick danced around the defender there. That's Blake Peavy. And Peavy just blew a tire and went hard into the boards after the fake by McKittrick. McKittrick didn't hit him. And Peavy missed the hit on McKittrick. But he went hard into the board. So Danbury there for that stretch, because Peavy was down, had a 5-on-3, and they really didn't capitalize on Peavy being down there. They didn't set up a good enough play, and instead they had a shot with nobody in front that was steered up into the netting.
Ruiz to Gonzalez, over to the left side, winds up shot by McDonald, blocked down, bouncing puck, funneled back up to the point for Gonzalez. He'll walk this on, down to the right circle, tried to put it in front, and blocked down by Rowe. Actually, no, pardon me, by Kennedy. Good positioning on that one. Gonzalez will carry this up. 20 seconds left to go. McKittrick will regain the attacking end. McKittrick winds up shot, blocked down. Bouncing puck. Net was open. Chance on, right on. Ruiz tried to take the puck away. Bouncing puck, and the Thunderbirds are going to clear this to the opposite end of the rink with 7:20 left to go. That'll kill off the remainder of the Hat Tricks power play time. So they are perfect on the defensive side of the special teams, 0 for on the offensive side. They still need 2 goals with 7 minutes and 5 seconds left to go.
And they almost had it there. Cavallari was down. Gonzalez had a couple whacks at it as, yes, Carolina has iced the puck with 6:57 to go in the third period. Gonzalez was in deep. He had a couple good whacks at it, good opportunities, but the puck just wouldn't find the back of the net. And as such, Danbury remains down by a pair.
So do you attempt to maybe get aggressive with pulling Brian Wilson for the extra attacker down 2 goals here?
So I think at some point Billy will do that. I don't think we're at that point yet. We're still around 7 minutes and change, or excuse me, just under 7 minutes to play here in the third period. But yeah, I think when you get around 4 minutes or so, I think Billy's got to think about it.
Hat Tricks gathering up. Falanga and Mock wrestling to try and get this. Falanga will just settle it. Sits on the red line and lobbed on net. That's an interesting decision by Camilleri, and it doesn't end up hurting him on this one. Dowler will settle it, puts it up to the left side for Yao. Falanga, the puck sneaks underneath his stick, and Camilleri is going to do the smart thing and just cover up this puck with 6:29 left.
Yeah, again, I pointed it out earlier. Cavallari has had several turnovers where he's quick to play the puck, and then he turns it right over. There he handled it well. He shoveled it off to the side, not up the middle, off to the side, and where there were no hat tricks around. So did a good job on that clear.
6:25 the time remaining. Gonzalez will glove it at the point. Try to funnel it low, contested, and Carolina will get this out. Here comes Ford, skating against a couple of hat tricks. Gibbs with him. Ford will get some space, carries it to the circle, will put it down for Rowe. Gibbs pokes the puck off of his stick and off to Johnny Ruiz. Lobbed over the middle, stick down by Ford. McKittrick with the kick self-pass. McKittrick carrying forward. On his backhander up to Gibbs. Tried to put it on towards the net, nothing there. 40 Bennell. Wrestling for it, McKittrick. Nothing there. Bennell just inching that puck along. Ruiz actually going to hop off or a player swap. Lugo is going to hop on. And the Thunderbirds will get out. Captain Butita up to Rowe. In front, shot, save made. Did that sneak in? No, it did not. Brian Wilson had a knuckling puck that he just had to swallow up to keep it at a 2-goal deficit.
Yeah, that very quickly turned into a 2-on-1 against Danbury, and it was executed perfectly. Rowe to Butita and put right on, and it was kind of caught in between the arm and the body of Wilson, and he squeezed as tight as he could, and it did not sneak by him. Big save.
A needed play, a needed opportunity to try and get themselves back into this one. Walking on is McDonald. Looking.
That one sent down the ice. Are we going to get icing? Yes, we are.
Yep, that makes perfect sense.
With 5:16 to go in the third period, Danbury trailing 5-3. They have the only goal of the third period. Johnny Ruiz got it back to a 2-goal deficit 22 seconds into the period with his 17th of the season. We've had a parade to the penalty box in this third period, really throughout the game. Neither team has been able to crack through on special teams. Well, actually, Danbury did because they scored shorthanded.
Yep. It's been quite a sequence as this is going to be an icing.
I got to tell you, Carolina can't be doing that.
No.
You know, it's way too early, way too much time on the ice to keep taking faceoffs in your own end of the ice.
5:07 the time remaining. This is the front end of a 2-game series between the Hat-Tricks and the Thunderbirds.
Yep, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right here at Danbury Ice Arena.
Two of us will be back together again to call another good hockey game between these two good hockey teams. Over Dowler's hand.
They did it again?
Yeah. This is a lot of icings as we have exactly 5 minutes to play.
That's about 3 icings in 20 seconds or so. 20 seconds of clock time. So I don't know what the strategy is.
Don't let the other team have the, I don't know, man.
Unless those guys are exhausted right now and they're just doing anything to get the puck out of the zone and they're being too over aggressive about it.
Which they're skating 16 total players. 2 of them are goalies, so 14 skaters. They probably are a bit gassed. They're trying to hold on to the lead as Dowler looks for a knuckling shot. Lugo will get on top of this one. Wanted Kuznetsov. He goes down. Hat-Tricks call a penalty that the officials do not. Dowler will get it through and by Pestuka. Knocked on. Jan Salak will carry on. Salak winds up shot. That's blocked down. Dowler will swing his way around the net. Dowler off to the left side for Jared Yao. Yao will lug his way forward. Yao gathers at the blue line, tried to get it low for the slot. Falanga gave chase. Lugo can't keep it in. It bounced over his glove. Rowe is just going to take the puck for a walk. The clock is his friend. It is Danbury's enemy right now.
That's a good job by Rowe. Killed a little time, then played the puck up ahead, and they got a good dump in.
Here comes Dustin Gesso, barreling forward. Wilson heads off. It's an offsides call at the opposite end of the rink, so Wilson is probably going to have to go back to the bench, but we've got, is there a penalty called, or? We'll take a breather, hop back in a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. Ultimate Limousine Service in Danbury is the region's premier limo service. You ever ride in a Bentley? If not, then call them up the next time you travel and go in style with Ultimate Limousine at ultimatelimoct.com. 3:57 left to go. That is a lot of time. Wilson skated off as the Hat-Tricks were attempting to gain the offensive end before they took that offsides penalty. He is well out of his crease right now, so should the Hat-Tricks gain possession of this puck, yep, Wilson's heading off. He's off to the bench, so the Hat-Tricks net is empty. They turn it over. Rode takes a look at it, puts it just wide. He was at the red line, so no icing on that. The Hat-Tricks, well, they get to breathe a little bit longer. Up to Marchessault. Lobbed in. Hat-Tricks desperate to keep this. In front shot. Oh, it bounced over the net. It bounced over. Gordy Bunnell had a great chance in front, and it just sneaks over the crossbar. Goodness gracious. Carolina's going to clear this out. Jared Yao gives chase. Hat-Tricks skating 6-on-5, down by 2 goals. Jared Yao handles around Rose. Pressure. McKittrick at the offensive end. He'll lob it deep. Settle down on sneak through Gesso. No penalty whistled here. Yao up to Ruiz. Hat-Tricks maybe dodge a bit of a bullet. Ruiz will walk on. Lobbed on. It skitters wide to the left. Gesso tried to put it on towards the net. McKittrick gathers up. 2:45 to go. Ruiz thought about it. Wants to put it low for Gesso. He'll go and get it from behind the net. Pivots around. Shot put on towards the net. It's blocked down and cleared out. The clock is Carolina's friend. It is Danbury's enemy. Gesso walks this forward. Dustin Gesso. He'll work this around. Gonzalez, puck left. McKittrick tries the backhander. Shot save made. Gamillari will cover it up. McKittrick off the tie-up following that. Boy, howdy. There is a lot of stuff happening.
Listen, they're protecting the puck. They're getting opportunities in the offensive zone with Wilson on the bench for the extra attacker. They're doing what they need to do. They're getting the puck to the net. They just have not been able to crack one through just yet. And boy, Gordy Bunnell, he thought he got one at the end of the second period there, which would have been huge. Yeah. And I mean, just a glorious chance right there, as you called it. And now the Hat-Tricks using their timeout. But Gordy Bunnell with, just a couple opportunities, one at the end of the second and one here at the end of the third, that just have not gone his way, and Danbury remains down 2. And now Billy McCreary trying to draw something up, to find some magic for the Hat-Tricks, who not only have to get 1, they've got to get 2 just to force overtime.
Let's get you some of the other scores from around the league. I believe that most of these, if not all of these, are finals. Columbus 3-0 over Motor City. Binghamton, the big win, 13-2 over the Port Huron Prowlers.
That's a big winner, right?
They flex their muscles and make themselves look as proficient and as complete as you possibly can. 5-2 Elmira over Delaware, and 5-0 Watertown over Mississippi. That game's got a couple of seconds, but that game will wrap up as a Watertown win, and Carolina is in great position to score a big couple of points here and deal the Hat-Tricks what would be their first loss of any kind here on Danbury's home ice this season.
That'd be something else, huh? You win your first 11 through October, November, December, and you don't lose your first one until the calendar flips over to January.
Yeah, that would be pretty astounding.
But, hey, listen.
Still time.
There's still time. You got to get a quick one here. Let's see what they've drawn up. Looks like Dustin Gesso will take the face-off to the left of Cavallari.
Gesso, Ruiz, Dowler, Marchessault, Yao, and Bunnell are the players on the ice for the Danbury Hat-Tricks with 2:21 left.
So interesting, 4 forwards, 2 defensemen, but Dowler is almost like a 5th forward here because they want to get his big 6'5" body down low as a screen in front of the goalie, which they sometimes do on the power play as well.
Keplinger is going to take the face-off. This is turning into a courtroom drama with all the deliberation between the players and the officials. 2:21 to play here in the third. It's going to be Gordy Bunnell who steps in and takes it.
Yeah, Gesso was tossed out, and Carolina ices it.
Ruiz had to sprint back to make sure that that turned into, not an empty net goal opportunity for Carolina. This is the first time all season that Danbury has been playing a home game while trailing this late this season. Gesso to take the face off against Keplinger. Gesso wins it cleanly. Yao, Ruiz wound up, didn't get a lot on that shot. Dowler tries to funnel it in front. Loose puck, no, it's covered up ultimately by Cavallari. He tumbles backwards into his net. I don't think this is going to result in any additional penalties.
So I like the group that they've had out there. It looks like McKittrick now is going to come out on the ice. He's only a 5'7" guy, but highly skilled. But I like now Dowler's going to be the one that comes off. But I like that Dowler and Marchesson down low in front of the goalie on the 6-on-5. Those are two big bodies to try and screen the goalie.
Carolina wins the draw. Yao gets to the puck at the opposite point. Marchesson will walk it, hand it off backwards. Up to Yao. Jared Yao dips around, glides on and forward. Jared Yao looks, wants to funnel it across. Open spot, Ruiz takes a whack at it. Carolina clears it. This doesn't have the steam to turn into an icing. We've got a minute and 43 seconds left to go in regulation time. Danbury still down by 2. Jared Yao will kick it to himself. Ruiz gets on this, nearly a terrible turnover. Marchesson will defuse the situation, at least for now. Gesso across the attacking blue line. Puck cleared out. Johnny McDonald is the man back. He'll get to it. Up and forward. Ruiz will leave it. Bennell will try and ring this round the dasher. Gesso blocks the clearing attempt. They'll tie the puck up against the board. We've got a minute and 10 seconds left to go. Keplinger gets on this, tries to ring it out. It bounces off of Ruiz's stick, and Dmitry Kuznetsov has to sprint to the opposite end of the rink to go and get this one. Uses the net as a screen. Tried to pass it, turnover here, and scores. Carolina has the empty netter. They go up 6-3 with 56 seconds left to go, and that very likely is going to do it. The Thunderbirds are 56.4 seconds away from dealing the Danbury Hat-Tricks their first loss here on home ice.
Kuznetsov there did a good job hustling back to get the puck, but then his head wasn't up, and he just whacks it around the boards to the only spot in his own end of the ice where there was a Carolina player. And Thunderbirds take it away. They get the empty net goal, and indeed, Danbury is on their way to their first home loss of the season.
The last time these teams played up here was a 5-3 game in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Wilson's back in net. Richards winds up, wants the shot, doesn't have it. These teams are going to meet up again tomorrow night. Across and off the champ's sign. Yao will settle it. Tries to funnel it across for Brendan Dowler. Dowler pass intercepted right at the center logo. It's a great night for Carolina. They played a wonderful, wonderful game. All things considered, Lugo winds up, shoots it. Save made by Cavallari. 25 shots, 26 now. Another one shot. Net comes very clearly off the moorings with 4 seconds left.
That's a really, really good stop. Cavallari, he's up 3. And he is still battling there and coming up with a big save with just 4.1 seconds to play. And, we talk about his turnovers and all that, but outside of that, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
He's played a very, very good game. 25-year-old goaltender from Mississauga, Ontario. He's played very, very well.
The final couple of seconds burn off, and that is that. The Carolina Thunderbirds have come into the Danbury Ice Arena and have dealt the Danbury Hat-Tricks their first loss here at home, only their second regulation loss of the 22-23 season.
Yeah, Danbury, only their second regulation loss, as you pointed out, only their 4th loss overall, and hey, Carolina's handed them 2 of those losses. An overtime defeat and now a regulation defeat. And the Hat-Tricks have to regroup a little bit here. That third period was certainly better than what happened at the second, but really, this game got away from Danbury in a 7-minute stretch of the second period.
Yep.
Otherwise, it was pretty much an even game. But, that's like, how'd you like the play, Mrs. Lincoln? Right?
New year.
Yeah. So, 4 goals in 7 minutes. That was
Yep.
the turning point in the game. It was a meltdown by Danbury and a terrific job by Carolina on the road, playing the second game in as many nights, playing, undermanned, shorthanded as well. A very, very impressive win for the Carolina Thunderbirds, who've now beaten Danbury twice this season.
Josh Keplinger with a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Joseph Kennedy, Lucas Rowe, Gus Ford, and John Butita all have a goal and an assist for 2 points. And Tucker Firth with 2 assists. An incredibly well-balanced offensive attack for the Thunderbirds.
Absolutely so. And you mentioned Tucker Firth and little things that win you games. Well, Tucker Firth had the 2 points, the 2 assists, but he also had several key block shots in this game. As did Kennedy. I thought Kennedy was a stalwart in his own end. I'm very impressed how Carolina plays in front of their goalie. They block a ton of shots. They redirect a lot of passes out of danger, and then Cavallari did the rest of the job and was solid as well. But I really like Carolina's game in front of their goalie.
Yeah. Well, let's give you the 3 stars for tonight's game. Dustin Gesso with 2 goals, the lone star for the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and the other 2 both hailing from our visitors in Carolina.
Yep, Joe Kennedy was the second star of the game, and the number 1 star was Keplinger with the goal and 2 assists. That is back-to-back 3-point nights for Keplinger. He had 2 goals and an assist last night in Watertown, and a goal and 2 assists tonight. In this one, big win for Carolina, and now the Hat-Tricks going to have to bounce back because they have this very same tough team on their home ice tomorrow night, 7 o'clock here at Danbury Ice Arena.
The first home regulation loss, the first home loss of any kind in the 22-23 season. That's a tough way to start off 2023, but the good news, it's only one. It was unreasonable to expect the Hat-Tricks to go unbeaten at home for the duration of the season. And now you've got that one out of the way. I always think it's better to get that one out of the way during the regular season than have to deal with that during the postseason.
Oh, I mean, of course. I mean, listen, nobody, would imagine that the streak would go this long, much less, towards the playoffs.
Yeah.
It happens. It was a good opponent. Billy McCreary obviously was not happy with the meltdowns, the lack of physicality in Danbury's game today. But it's all stuff that, obviously can be improved upon and get back at it tomorrow night. If you're the Danbury Hat-Tricks, positive things, certainly Dustin Gesso with the 2 goals tonight, but also that the debut of Daniel McKittrick. I was very impressed with him. We asked Billy about him in the intermission. He was very impressed with him. I thought he made his presence felt in the offensive zone. I thought he gave a really solid effort in the defensive zone. Add speed, a little bit grit to the team. I liked what I saw out of him tonight in his debut. He did pick up a point, had an assist in his Danbury Hat-Tricks debut.
Johnny Ruiz gets a goal as well in this one to make it a close game, make it 5-3, and the Hat-Tricks had their chances in the third period. Not quite enough to come back in this one. Carolina wins it 6-3. We'll be back with you tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. puck drop from here at the Danbury Ice Arena. For my partner in crime, Jim Cerny, for all of our technical team here at the Danbury Ice Arena, I'm Chris Lynch, wishing you all a very happy, good evening.